How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? What's the real truth about Citizen Kane?
It'll probably turn out to be a very simple thing.
Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. I'm Parker.
And I'm Max.
And welcome back to another episode of Better Than Citizen Kane, the highly subjective show where we look at a movie and ask that titular question. Because when every movie ever made is a reasonable contender for the title of greatest film of all time, you have to wonder, better than Citizen Kane?
Yes. And no.
Look, if you're trying to lay a lot of psychiatric groundwork for some sort of plea, this film,
A podcast host wouldn't lay the groundwork. He merely tries to explore it. That's why this week we're stealing $10,000 from Parker's boss and heading back to the filmography of Alfred Hitchcock to discuss his arguable magnum opus, 1960s Psycho.
From my boss?
Yeah, from your boss.
All right.
You're the Marion Crane in this situation. You're Janet Leigh.
Oh, God. Oh,
Who am
God.
I don't know.
All right, noted. Good to know.
I don't know who I am in that situation. Because I'm with you, so I can't be Norman Bates.
Right.
I could be the sister, I guess.
You could be the money.
I'm the money.
You're the money.
I'm the money. I'm the second lead in this movie, the money.
Max MacGuffin.
That's a pretty good name.
Yeah.
That should be my
Max MacGuffin Bennion.
name.
I like that.
Max MacGuffin. But this is a question I have for you, Parker, to we're going to start off the show a little differently today. What would you say is Hitchcock's magnum opus? Because when I was writing this intro, I was like, is this? Because I don't think that's fair, because it's not using all of the tools. Like, he worked in black and white for so long, obviously. But, like, his most major films outside of this are his Hollywood films in color. Like North by Northwest, Vertigo. Like, is Vertigo his magnum opus?
Like, critically, probably Vertigo. Culturally, it's got to be Psycho. Like, I don't think there's an argument for any of the others.
No, like, Psycho is, like, would you say, like, his most popular films in
100%.
American consensus?
I think
Vertigo,
so.
Psycho, Rear Window?
Yeah. Either Rear Window or maybe North by Northwest. Like,
I feel like Rear Window is, like, that's more of, like, a gimmick that people talk about. Whereas North by Northwest is, like... That, that's being done by, like, Bond films. Like, every Bond, like, doesn't Hitchcock have that quote about, like, how every Bond film is just trying to do North by Northwest or something?
Totally.
Normal guy, though.
Normal guy, yeah, totally normal dude.
Super normal guy. I would say it's Vertigo, obviously critically.
Yeah.
But also because it's playing with all of Hitchcock's favorite things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
Voyeurism. Torturing a blonde woman.
Yeah.
I don't know, but Psycho is his most famous culturally.
I think so.
At this point, right? 60 whatever years later, 65 years later?
Yeah, 65.
Wow.
Crazy.
Old enough to be on its own.
We haven't gotten to that episode yet, Max.
It was right there, Parker.
It was right
I had
there.
to.
So true.
Oh man, that'll be a good episode. But okay, Psycho. This is the episode about Psycho. It's our 70th episode, a nice round number.
Yes.
We're returning to Hitchcock, as I alluded to. Our first episode was on Vertigo.
Yeah.
And we haven't touched Hitchcock since, because this is the obvious follow-up to Vertigo.
Sure.
And we wanted to do it at Spooky Time, and it took us a while to get to this one.
Yeah. It's been slotted in and out so many times.
It has, but not for lack of us liking it.
No,
because
not
we
at all.
like this movie.
Quite a bit.
We like Psycho.
So coming back around to the conversation we were having just a minute ago, like, is this your favorite Hitchcock?
It's kind of a big question.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
This is a 4.5-star movie. Like, I love this movie.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's my favorite. I think I like, even though, like, I'm not, but see, Vertigo, I'm like, I gave Vertigo 3.5 stars. Should I revisit Vertigo? I remember, I've only seen so many of them one time. This is the one I've returned to the most, but that's by nature of, like, your movie nights.
Yeah.
It's a seasonal watch. I mean, the only Hitchcock I own is The Lady Vanishes.
Oh, sure.
But, I don't know. Like, I like his movies, but I don't think there's any that I'm like, I love this movie.
Yeah.
I'm like obsessed with it. I need to rewatch it all the time.
Sure.
Psycho is probably the one that I watch the most, but that's mainly because it's doing something. It is very Hitchcock, but it feels like it's doing something very different. Mm-hmm. I just don't think Hitchcock's one of my guys now that I think about it.
Yeah, he's not one of mine either.
Like what Hitchcock films do you own? Do you own any of his films?
I've got a box set of the 5 classics. So it's like Psycho, The Birds, North by Northwest, Rear Window, Vertigo. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like those 5. So I have that, but like, and I think I might own Rope as well. I might have Rope.
See, I need to see Rope.
Rope
There's just more that I should see. Really.
Rope is so interesting. Like it's messy, but I respect the hell out of like trying to do a for real oneer and just having technical limitations of the time. It's like, okay, well, a spool of film can only be so long, so we're going to take this in like 15-minute chunks and then do very awkward like push-ins on somebody's back and then pull out and we're in the next take, you know? But like it's an interesting experiment.
What we're doing. That's still what we have to do when we do oneers.
Exactly. So Rope is worth checking out, I think. I like Rope.
No, for sure. I recently just watched The Lodger from like 1917? Something like that. Like one of his earliest films. It's a silent film. Mm-hmm. It was fun. It's also very Hitchcock. There's a lot of stairs in it. And I was like, yeah, he does love his stairs.
I do like...
Now that I think about it, North by Northwest is probably my favorite.
North by Northwest is a very close second for me, I think. I like that one quite a bit. I think it's...
This is your favorite. This being your favorite.
I'd say so. Like, it's a similar vein of, like, Hitchcock is not one of my guys. It is not, like, a filmography... Excuse me. It's not a filmography that, like, I am constantly revisiting or anything like that. I've seen all of them a handful of times and, like, respect them, but aren't necessarily, like, films that I love. This one probably comes the closest. Again... kind of like we were talking about with Suspiria, just by like the nature of my seasonal obsession with Halloween for 2 months, I'm just like, all right, well, this pops in the rotation.
One day we'll have an intervention. No, I'm kidding.
Parker, it's got to stop.
Parker, you've got to stop rewatching these movies that you like.
It's too much. You can't do this anymore. But yeah, I think like, I do think this is probably my favorite out of his filmography. I do like, growing up, I had... again, one of those like $5 movie bin finds. They just had a box set of a bunch of Alfred Hitchcock Presents episodes. It's like 100 of them or something. And I watched through a few of those, and those were kind of fun. Like there were certain ones in there that I liked. But
how did that work? So he was presenting them, I suppose. So he was a producer on them? He
was a producer on them. As I understand it, he would direct some, but a lot of them were like for-hire directors. But he... As I understand it, I think he had kind of like final creative say. Like it was a very like executive producer overview.
Yeah, that's like a precursor to what a lot of filmmakers still do today in this era, where it's like, you know, Rian Johnson will do Poker Face, but he'll direct like the first and last, or like Flanagan as well. Like, it is kind of like it's from the visionary blank, but then there's obviously other directors involved.
Yeah, I don't know a ton about it, but like the very basic understanding of how it works, I think that is mostly how it was run. But yeah, so all this to say that I think this one probably is my favorite with I agree, I do like North by Northwest, mostly because like it's the thing that I love so much about Bringing Up Baby is I like Cary Grant making jokes. I like funny Cary Grant, and I feel like we didn't get as much of that as I would have liked out of his filmography. And North by Northwest, he's got some very funny moments, which I like a lot.
Yeah. Cary Grant's the best. I had a question for you.
Oh, dear.
But I can't remember it now. Oh, yeah. What'd you do with all that money you stole from your parents? Went in the swamp. That's where I keep my money.
Yeah, the swamp behind my house.
That's also where Norman stores all of his money that he has.
Yeah.
He's got to maintain that house. He doesn't.
The term money laundering comes from Norman Bates because every time he'd get bills out, he has to go and wash them first.
I could watch Anthony Perkins do almost anything as Norman Bates, but that doesn't mean I'm going to watch the sequels.
True.
Sorry to Anthony Perkins.
Sorry.
Great though. Great in
though.
this
Like,
movie.
You and I were talking a little bit outside, off mic, but
unfortunately, we talked a little bit about the movie off mic, guys.
But recently I sought out Evening Primrose, which is a television special with music by Stephen Sondheim. That's the main reason I knew it existed. I'd heard some of the music, and a friend of mine brought it up recently and was like, "Oh, hey, you should watch Evening Primrose sometime if you haven't." I was like, "Oh, I knew of it, but I hadn't watched it." Had no clue that the original main character of that was played by Anthony Perkins in this TV special. I had only heard concept albums with Neil Patrick Harris and things like that. And he's great. He has a lovely vocal range. He sounds wonderful singing Sondheim music, and I'm like, man, now I just want to hear Anthony Perkins play Bobby and company. I just need more of him in this world, and we didn't get any of it. But yeah, Psycho is so monolithic in his stardom that it really frustrates me that it eclipses everything else, because I think he's got a great body of work, and I think he's a very talented actor, and it makes me sad that he kind of got swallowed up by this franchise in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Well, and also, I had this thought recently. I rewatched The Sound of Music for, the first time earlier this year, and had this realization of, Maria as a character, and, Julie Andrews' performance of her is so monolithic that it's underrated now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I feel about Anthony Perkins in Psycho. Of, he's the guy, it's the thing. It's everyone knows it so well, and everyone's like, yeah, that's, it's that. That it almost loops back around to being under discussed.
Totally.
Almost.
Yeah.
I feel like it's almost taken for granted in a way of sometimes a film character and a film performance will become so iconic that you forget that it's actually good work.
Totally. It is work that they're doing.
It's work
There's
that they're
craft in
doing.
this.
Yeah. And there's yes, exactly. There's craft to this. I do have another quick question for you, Parker. Are we recording on the Zoom?
No.
That's okay. YouTube.
Okay.
Hey, YouTube viewers.
Hey, YouTube guys.
You're about to see us.
You're going to see
thanks
us
for
here in a
sticking
minute.
around.
I'm so sorry, everybody.
It's okay. I just noticed, and I was like, I'm not going to interrupt the conversation.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So for those watching visually, we're
here now. That's so funny.
It's a real,
thank you for catching that.
kind of, yeah, of course. I was like, do I not mention it? And is it better to not have any? Or is it better?
No, it's better. It's better to come back in, and I wouldn't want to restart because we've got a lot of good stuff in here.
No, this is good stuff.
Yeah, thank you for catching that.
I think everyone can agree this is really good stuff, and
really
everyone
good
listening
stuff.
is really liking this. And
Everybody's riveted,
and they know that we've earned the ability to say this is good stuff, and because everyone agrees.
Everybody agrees.
So we're not being, but yeah, I think. Yes, I think that Anthony Perkins in this is so good. And also, we both caught this in theaters.
Yes, we did.
Through the Regal Month of Masterpieces this month, which was great.
Yeah, I had a good time.
Very lovely. Had you seen Psycho in theaters before?
I don't believe I had. I think this was the first time for me in theaters.
Okay, same here. How many times? Okay, let's dive into that really quick. How many times have you seen Psycho, would you say? Since you got Letterboxd as well. But
yeah, let's click the Letterboxd, but I know I saw this before 2020. This will not be an entire accounting of it all. According to Letterboxd, I've seen this 3 times, including the time most recently. 2021, 2023, 2025. Just every other year. Before that, I think I saw this for the first time in the halcyon days of 13-year-old Parker in his bedroom.
Oh yes, the much discussed. The legendary days of Parker in his bedroom.
I think this was probably, kind of an interesting tidbit about this is probably the first R-rated film I ever saw.
Oh, yeah.
Because it retroactively got rated R, right? Because the rating system was very different. It was PG for a really long time, and then when the big shakeup happened in the 80s, a lot of films were kind of reevaluated, and they're like, yeah, Psycho's an R-rated film, which is interesting.
It is.
I
think because it's solely for violence and implied nudity.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
We don't actually see anything, but you think that you do.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore
which we'll get into.
Rated R.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
But I I would imagine I've seen this movie at least half a dozen times, if not more, over my life. Like, it's one that I've watched a fair amount. What about you?
I think I've seen this 3 times.
Okay.
Let me check. I think it's all been connected to you, Parker.
Oh, God.
So, what? You're like, you can't deal with that level of responsibility?
Yeah, I don't know how to deal with that. It's too much.
No. Okay, well, the good news is that's not true.
Oh.
I watched this for the first time in August of 2021. Not at your house. It's before I watched Suspiria at your house.
Yes.
So
before we were
and then
friends,
before we were friends. I think that was like
I think that was F friends. We weren't.
That may have been literally
friends.
the day before your bachelor party that year.
Yeah.
I think it was like 2 days before that.
Mm-hmm.
Then I watched it at your house in 2023.
Yes. And
then I watched it in theaters for this.
Nice.
My point is in bringing all this up is that seeing it in theaters, this is just a point I want to make clear. I might have brought it up previously.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. But seeing movies on the big screen, seeing old movies that you've seen a ton of times on the big screen, is, I think, the biggest takeaway I get from that is people are acting.
Yeah.
You know, like the thing, like, and I know that maybe sounds, I don't know, whatever. I don't need to put words in people's mouths or words in my mind. But like, my point is like, the performances in blockbusters and classics and masterpieces are better than you think they are.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Totally.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But like watching this, I was like, Janet Leigh is doing a lot that I don't think I had fully clocked before this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like I'd seen it big before. You know, when I watched it at your house, we projected it up on the screen. But like in theaters, I don't know. I notice a lot more.
I had the same thing with Vera Miles in this time around.
Yeah.
Where I was just like, everybody talks about Janet Leigh, and rightfully so. She is great in this film, and like it's a star vehicle for her and an iconic twist in such a great way. But it feels like Vera Miles as like the secondary female lead coming in to pick up the pieces does not get off discussed the way she should, because she's doing really great work, genuinely.
Yeah. Yeah. And like everyone kind of is, you know, like it kind of is just that good.
Yeah.
So that was really exciting about seeing it in theaters for me. Obviously the reason we're bringing this to the show is because it's Psycho.
It's Psycho.
This is another one where we probably don't need to talk about why it's here.
Yeah.
But just to go over it really quickly, this is number 14 on AFI's Top 100, just behind Star Wars and just above 2001: A Space Odyssey, a really interesting spot to be in.
Yep.
On the Sight and Sound from 2022, again, the reason this show exists, it's number 33, just below 8.5 and just above L'Atalante.
Okay.
Apologies.
Unfamiliar.
Well, to make it a little more like you're gonna be familiar, it's 3 spots above City Lights.
Ah, okay.
So there you go.
There you are. Interesting.
And it's 3 behind A Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Good movie.
Good movie. Best movie ever made, according to this podcast.
And I stand by it.
And of course, the question you asked right before we started recording isn't Norman Bates on AFI's 100 villains list? And he sure is. He's number 2.
Number 2.
Behind Dr. Hannibal Lecter and above Darth Vader.
Yeah. He's in good
company. Does that hold true? Is Norman Bates the second greatest villain of all time?
I think he might. I mean, he's certainly one of the most iconic, you know?
Sure. Yes.
Yeah, there's an argument to be made, especially in the sense that, like, I think he earns that spot because he hijacks the narrative halfway through, you know? Yeah. And I don't know many other villains who do that.
And by force.
Yeah, truly. Along those lines, additionally, in 2022, Variety named Psycho the greatest film of all time, period.
Yep.
And in 2024, as the 3rd greatest horror film of all time, Turner Classic Movies listed it as one of the top 15 most influential films of all time. It is very well regarded.
It is literally it has literally been described as influential by the National Film Registry. You know, whatever. Like, note what's the term? They
historically, culturally, or aesthetically significant. Yeah.
Yes.
Culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant is their criteria.
Which I guess is maybe a smarter way of what we say every week on this show. But it's Psycho. That's why it's on the show. This is, you know, in the same way that like covering 12 Angry Men 2 or 3 weeks ago, it's like, this one should be here. And it's kind of nuts it took us this long to get here. But we simply had to talk about Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. And we simply had to cover Merrily We Go to Hell.
Yes.
Before we got to Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho in 1960. Some notes on production, if we're ready for that.
Yes, please.
Based on Robert Bloch's 1959 novel of the same name, which was itself loosely inspired by the case of Ed Gein. Gein.
That's how I always heard it.
I had it right the first time. Awful guy.
Yeah, truly terrible.
Really messed up guy. Be interesting to look at, like, who's inspired the most iconic horror movies. Is that guy?
Yeah, it's Gein.
It's probably
that
guy.
It's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's all over the place. Yeah.
It's all over the place. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
He's a real star. He's everywhere. Ew. Anyway, Hitchcock acquired the rights to the novel for $9,500.
It was brought to him by his secretary. She read it first, thought it would be good. It had already been passed up. Like somebody, like I think Universal had optioned it, and then decided like it was up to be optioned. They turned it down. They said no. She brings it to Hitchcock. Hitchcock loves it so much, he bites up the rights, and he tells her to go buy every copy she can so that the twist doesn't get out.
Yeah, which is wild.
Yeah.
And she did, and she buried them all right next to those ET game cartridges.
Yes.
That he also was like, this game sucks. You should go buy every copy and bury.
It's a good Hitchcock impression.
He was really mad about the E.T. game, Parker. Yeah. He liked E.T. a lot.
I forgot that Alfred Hitchcock was a guest star on several episodes of Doctor Who. He was a recurring cast member as like a South Londoner.
Yeah. Go buy every copy of this game and bury it. I can't be playing this. That's what he said.
Yeah, that's it.
And then he said, by the way, there's a bomb under this table.
There's a bomb under this table.
He would just say that sometimes too.
Yeah.
Just to build tension. To build suspense. He's a real master of suspense in that way. Paramount executives were like, no, at his proposal, because he was like, my usual budget for this, you know? It's getting worse. And they were like, no. And then he was like, well, okay, what if I make it really fast and cheaply in black and white using the crew from my TV series? Alfred Hitchcock Presents, for those unfamiliar. That's what he said to the board. And they said, no. And then, because the sound stages were booked and whatever. And then he said, what if I make it independently and you guys just distribute and I don't take my usual director's fee and also 60% stake in the film negative? And then they went, okay. So
he really had to grovel for this one.
He did. He said, I'm groveling. And they were like, okay.
Okay. You got us.
It's wild to me, though, again, like, not to bring up 12 Angry Men again, but like that also being a teleplay adapted really cheap and becomes one of the greatest films of all time.
Yeah.
This film similarly is like, can I just make this as cheap and easy and quickly as possible? And that's what it took to make Psycho. It's almost like films are better when they're under pressure. So then he hires Joseph Stefano to write it, even though he had written one film before. Yeah. And there was a draft before that Hitchcock hated. So then he finds this guy and the meeting went well and he's like, okay, you can do it.
Yeah.
Stefano found Norman Bates unsympathetic. In the book, he is middle-aged, overweight, and more overtly unstable.
Right.
And then he immediately became intrigued when Perkins was cast or suggested to be cast. So they eliminate Bates's alcoholism, which also removed Bates's becoming the mother personality when in a drunken stupor. Yeah.
Yeah,
This sounds better to me.
I agree. I think these changes make a lot of sense.
They also removed Bates's interest in spiritualism, the occult, and pornography.
Mm-hmm.
Again, good choice.
Yeah, I'd say so.
He feels more like, I don't know, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
He's more of a psycho this way. But also, like, making him less all over the board.
Yeah. Well, also, it's interesting because making these changes makes him more likable to the audience, to the point that, like, some people have talked about, like, seeing this for the first time, and when the protagonist switch happens, they're rooting for Norman to get away with it. They're like, oh, man, like, they're nervous when the car isn't sinking into the swamp. They're worried he's going to get caught, you know?
Right.
And I don't think that would work if he was unlikable.
And that's such an interesting thing about this too, because it's not like we know why he's doing this until the end.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, we don't know what's going on. And well, I mean, because it's his mother.
Yeah.
Throughout the rest of the movie, people are like, wow, this guy's just, under the thumb of his awful mother who's killing people, and he has to cover up for her because she's crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
It is a clever tricky they're pulling. And they elect to open the film with scenes in Marion's life and not introduce him until the 20-minute mark.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is it really that short? It feels
so much longer.
It feels so much longer, which isn't a bad thing. It just, I'm like, is it really only 20 minutes?
It's true. I mean, this thing moves. It just kind of,
moves
goes along. It's interesting because, like, part of, as I understand it, the hesitancy the studios had of greenlighting this is that they said it was way too violent. They said it was unfilmable. They're just like, no. And it makes sense. In the book, it is a lot more violent. Marion gets decapitated instead of stabbed in the book. There's a lot more, like, I've always wondered this, which was interesting finding in the research of, like, there's a scene at the end of the movie when Lila goes into Norman's bedroom and finds the book, the unmarked book, and she opens it, and she has a reaction to it when we never see what's in the book. Right. In the actual novel, it's described as being, quote, pathologically pornographic illustrations. Like, just filled, this book's just full of them.
Interesting.
And I was like, that's curious that they keep that moment in the movie, but pull it out.
How had you read that moment before?
I had read it as a diary before.
Interesting.
I had always read it as Norman writing as mother and as himself, is what I had always assumed it to be.
I had always kind of read it as just, like, further confirming that he is stunted in his development. I thought it was just like a children's storybook.
It's interesting.
I thought she was like convert, like, oh, like, because we see her reaction and we don't really see what it is.
Right.
I was like, she's just kind of like confirming what we're already getting from this room, which is that he has not grown up at all. So that's interesting. Yeah,
which it makes for a much more interesting juxtaposition of having this very childlike room and having a very adult book in there,
Right.
Curious.
Wow.
Anyway, just I thought that was interesting, just as far as, like, changes to the adaptation as they went along.
Yeah. I mean, apparently Marion's story occupies, like, 2 of 17 chapters.
Yeah.
And it just is longer in this.
Also, the novel adds a romance between Sam and Lila, which I think is a mistake. Like, that feels so...
it is.
That, like, because literally, Stefano said that he's like, he felt it made Sam cheap. He's like, dude, he's a scumbag if you do that.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I had that thought watching it this time. I was like, it does feel like a movie of this period would be like, and then, of course, man and woman get together, obviously. And it's like, no, this was the right choice. And I'm like, now I know. Yeah, right choice.
Yep.
Hitchcock cast Lee for a quarter of her usual fee. And she was his first choice. She agreed, having only read the novel, and made no inquiry into her salary, really. And Perkins agreed to $40,000, and both stars were experienced, proven box office draws. So the studio's like, good to go.
Yeah.
Independently produced, financed by Hitchcock. Again, it was shot on the same location as his television show. It was shot for under $1 million, $800,000. And they shot for, like, what is that, 3 months?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how it all gets started.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, like the most famous scene in it is the shower scene. I thought this was kind of interesting of like Lee's character, or rather like that is like pivotal, one of the best, people know that.
Yeah.
You know that. Talk about the Simpsons rule that we have on the show.
Totally.
Everyone's done that.
Everyone's done that. I was talking to my mother about this movie. Yeah, shocking. Talking to my mother about Psycho. But
Parker, was it really your mom?
It really was. It was really Jackie.
Parker's just doing a voice.
Yeah. But she told me she had told me the story before growing up, but it was interesting remembering that she's like, when she saw this for the first time as a teenager, she's like, I took sponge baths for a year. She's like, I'm not. She's like, between this and Nightmare on Elm Street's bathtub scene, she's like, it ruined all of it for me. I couldn't take baths. I couldn't take showers. I took sponge baths for a year. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's a common story, I think. That,
yeah.
Like this, this did for showers what Jaws did for showers.
Absolutely, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Everyone is like, oh God, what if there's a shower in this pool?
What if there's a shower in this pool?
But even Lee was influenced by that. She herself was like, I couldn't take showers for a year afterward because she realized until she watched the film how vulnerable and defenseless someone is while they're in the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah, she would lock all the doors and windows and would leave the bathroom and shower door open. So she could but I'm like, I just feel like I'd lock the door to the bathroom.
Yeah. But then you can't see him coming.
I know, but like you'd
they'd have to lock.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
It's too loud in there. You'd never hear him coming.
No, you're right. Okay. Yeah. That scene, they shot the shower scene from December 17th to the 23rd, 1959. They had to postpone filming twice. First, because of a cold. Yeah, she got a cold making that. Although some myths state that it was a cold shower, so her screams would be more legitimate. And she was like, no.
Yeah, that's not true.
It was a warm shower.
Yeah, she was comfortable.
Once again, people love to be like, women are only good at acting when a director tortures them. And it's
Which is so funny to do with Hitchcock, because it's like, why make up stories? There's so many real stories of Hitchcock torturing women trying to get a performance.
Right, you wouldn't have to.
You don't have to make this up.
Yeah, you're
Pick a real one.
And the second time they postponed was because she was on her period.
Oh, there you go.
And I go, was it really that, or was it just she just had a bottle of chocolate syrup that she was spilling and going, I can't do it anymore.
Can't do it anymore.
She got tired of doing it. She's like, I can't do it. And they were like, right, that looks just like the blood we're filming with.
An all British crew.
No, it was just Hitchcock.
Oh, it's just, I see. I thought that was just the whole crew.
Yeah, no, you're
collectively.
Right. Collectively.
Yeah, the shower scene
They all said that in unison.
You're right. The shower scene is interesting. Like, you could do an entire podcast about, like, the logistical cultural battles of who is responsible for this scene. Like, some people say it's Hitchcock. Some people say it's the editor, whose name is, I had it pulled up, George Tomasini. And then some people also argue for Saul Bass, because Saul Bass helped storyboard the whole film. And he's credited as like a pictorial consultant on this.
Yes, he was a pictorial consultant.
Yeah. So like obviously does the iconic title sequence, and that's what he's known for in his career, but also worked very closely with Hitchcock to work out the visuals of the scene. So then there's been kind of a cultural resurgence of people like, no, Saul Bass like directed that sequence, which Lee has, shut down. She's like, that's not true. Like Hitchcock was all in there, his hands on all this stuff, but there's an interesting rabbit hole you could go down all about just like who is responsible for that scene.
Yeah. Okay, so you think we should just pivot to that?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. Again, as I said before we started recording, I like what we do here. I don't think we need to change it.
Oh, I definitely thought Parker hated what we did here. Yeah. I thought I was like, I've been enjoying that. I've been enjoying making you miserable every week. But now I'm conflicted. Anyway, this was also the let's save some of this stuff for
like what that's fair. That's fair.
But just kind of wrapping up here. Hitchcock did most of the promotion himself. He forbade Lee and Perkins to make the usual interviews for fear of them revealing the plot. So he was just out there being like, check it out, he's freaky. Right freaky it is. I made another good one, he said.
It just keeps devolving. It just keeps getting deeper.
Yeah,
That's
it's really
so funny. It really like it feels like he's becoming a Guy Ritchie character.
He is, yeah. Yeah, he was in Snatch.
Right, of course. How could I forget?
Yeah, it's like when... Oh, man. I can't reference that. I don't want to spoil that movie. There's another movie that I was going to reference that I watched recently that was really good. The guy showed up unexpectedly.
I see.
So when people watch... You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So when people watch Snatch, they're like, wait, Alfred
Hitchcock
is in this? He was alive? He was. He's like, I won't die. Won't die until I get to be in Snatch. It's becoming Michael Caine.
I was going to say that was
like
very
a bad
Michael Caine.
Yeah. Who? Hopkins. Hopkins played him in that movie.
Yes,
about Hitchcock.
yeah, it was Hopkins.
I think it was called Hitchcock.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
Hitch was already taken, so they couldn't use that.
Well, Hitchcock also wanted to be in Hitch.
Right.
But he died before he could do it.
Yeah.
So they were like, who's the most Hitchcock guy we know? Will Smith.
It's a real AI artificial intelligence situation, where they had to, that was his dream project when
right.
he died.
Spielberg took over for Kubrick because he was like, I'm good friends with Kubrick. And Will Smith was like, I've been good friends with Alfred Hitchcock for years.
I have to take over
I know that he wanted to do
I know
Hitch.
he'd want me to do this.
Psycho is a good time.
I don't know why this is such a silly episode.
Yeah, we're having fun.
We're having fun.
What do you have any other things you want to say before we get into a summary?
Just that it had a very famous marketing gimmick where Hitchcock instructed theaters do not let anybody in once the movie starts. No late admissions whatsoever.
Which was
they had cut out
rare.
signs of him in the lobby being like, no.
Yeah. And everyone went, that's Alfred Hitchcock.
That's Alfred
from
Hitchcock.
all of his cameos.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was doing cameo.
He was doing cameos.
So everyone was like, that's the guy who told me happy birthday last year.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
But yeah, I mean it's very interesting, and I think we can talk about that more in Criteria because that is going to be a huge assistance in this movie's battle to take the spot from Kane, obviously. But Psycho, embarrassingly for me, it was $40,000. A meager 10,000. What am I talking about?
Paltry sum.
That wouldn't be worth stealing from a bank, from a cowboy at a bank.
I'm so curious about this guy. He's just the
what's
worst.
his deal?
He's
a weird guy, but he's
weird.
also so specific.
Yeah.
It would make more sense if he was just more generally bad, but he's charismatic and weird.
Yeah.
And also bad.
It feels like Hitchcock doing it feels like an impersonation of someone he knows,
Yeah.
it's a send-up
some
of
wealthy
some
guy
studio
that he
exec.
met once.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
It's interesting.
Yeah. But of course we don't open there.
No.
We open on a hotel. Well, we open with Phoenix,
Yes.
Arizona. How many movies on the top 100 open in Phoenix, do you think? Open in Arizona. It's interesting.
It's an interesting query.
Is this the biggest? Do you think Phoenix really celebrates this movie? Do they have a statue of Sam from Psycho?
I'm sure they all love Sam in that town. Sam Loomis.
Sam Loomis, who doesn't live in Phoenix.
Friend to all.
Friend and he is.
And he is.
Yeah. So Marion Crane and her boyfriend Sam Loomis, they've just, they just did some stuff in the hotel. I'm always shocked by how quickly they are lying down horizontally in this movie.
Yeah.
Considering this is still in the Code era.
I think so. Very
right?
tail end, but I think
tail
it's
end,
still
but
around.
it's always shocking to me that I'm always right, they are fully lying down horizontally with clothes off.
Yeah, it's
on
kind
this
of wild.
bed. It's how do you get away with that? But I guess that's why it gets a rated R rating.
Yeah.
But they're talking about his debts are delaying their marriage. He's still dealing with a divorce, correct?
Yes, yeah. He has a divorce that he's gone through. He's paying alimony. Also check the Hays Code. 68 is when it finally closed out. So
right.
this is code. Yeah, nuts. But yeah, so he is dealing with his father's unsettled debts. He is in the middle of paying alimony to his ex-wife, and he's like, hey, I'm not in any financial position for us to have a life together right now. And I don't want... She doesn't seem to care. Like, she's like, look, like, I really like his line when she's like, well, why don't I come live with you? He's like, oh, yeah, sure. We can go camp out in my little shack behind the storehouse. You can when I mail my wife the alimony checks, you can lick the stamps.
Yeah.
She's like, I'll lick the stamps. Like, she loves this guy. She's so ready to
down bad.
She's down bad. They both are. They're both crazy about each other. These
she's
two crazy
like, we're
kids.
crazy about each other, and it's cuffing season.
It's cuffing season. Yeah.
Yeah. So, he's like, well, I'll see you very soon.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go back home now.
Yep. Because he lives in... Where does he live?
No,
Fairfield?
Fairview? Something like that?
Something like that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, here it is. Fairvale.
Fairvale, yeah, he lives in California.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he lives in California.
Yeah.
And so he's like, bye, and we'll see each other very soon.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, what if next time you come and we go to like lunch with my sister and we're outside? And he's like, yeah.
But I don't know about that. But then he relents. He's like, okay, fine.
He does.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah. Which is nice.
Yeah.
I always think that it's more of like infidelity than it is. I always think
it feels that because like they're talking about like meeting in seedy motels and stuff like that. And like it feels secretive. And it's mostly just that like it's his pride. Like, that's all it really boils down to,
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
He can't, yeah. She goes to work.
Mm-hmm.
Weird cowboy guy comes in. He's buying property.
Also, very strange that Hitchcock chooses to put his cameo right here. He's standing outside the office, also wearing a cowboy hat. Like, well, you literally put a hat on a hat, Hitch. What are you doing? You don't stand out anymore. But maybe that's the point.
I've always wanted to wear one of these, he said.
He said.
Do we have a second one? Costuming?
Costuming.
Yeah. Oh, Parker's getting in on the game. Oh, I see.
I've got to one-up you. I've got to find it in there somewhere.
Do it. Yeah. I'm going to watch you throughout the entire
I'd like
podcast.
To see you
I'm going to watch
it.
you like sitting there biting your nails being like, I got to get this perfect so I
got to
can be
figure
better
it out. I
than
have to smack him to the curb.
Whoa. Okay. Well, hold on.
Whoa.
But yeah. Okay. So Hitchcock's there at the bank too.
Yep.
He's actually about to walk in and also put some money down on a ranch.
Yeah.
But this other guy's doing
it
on a ranch. So he's like, me and your boss are gonna go drinking, right? And the banker's like, yes.
He's like, sure, yeah, okay.
Yeah, sure, yeah, okay. This is one of my favorite. There's a funny line right at the top of this too, because she has a coworker. And the ranchman comes in, and the rancher is like flirting with Marion.
He's putting the moves on her.
He's putting the moves on her, and she's very like, I like it. He's like, are you happy? And her line is, she's like, not inordinately.
Yeah. And
she said, like, immediately Janet Leigh is so good in this movie and feels so real. Like, every once in a while we watch a movie where it's like a performance feels so modern, and hers is one, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, she feels like a step above another performance that you'd see in a movie of this period almost.
I think so.
Right.
Sure. Anyway. There's something about her deliveries too. Like you're talking about, like there's a moment later in this scene where she is like, well, I guess I'm gonna go and try to sleep it off. Like there's just a cadence to her lines that just, like you said, feels very modern. It feels natural.
Very modern. It feels very natural, and it feels more true to life, which is what we're referring to when we say it feels modern, right?
Totally.
Because, there is more of an affectation in movies for a long time, and then you get that more realism coming in as movies grow, and it just feels more akin to that. It feels more like she's playing a real person rather than a movie character.
Yeah. Which
there's less formality from her, I guess is how I'd put it. Like her performance is less formal.
Totally.
Which I think probably made it all the scarier at the time.
Absolutely.
That and also Perkins is doing something very similar where he feels so grounded in something real.
Yeah.
And that, I think, also contributes to it feeling a lot scarier.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah. It's funny because I was going to say this in context of what you were talking about, and then I actually also doubled down on, because I was like, well, I think part of it is that, like, her scene partner, the other office worker, is doing a very put-on performance. Yes. That's Pat Hitchcock. That is Hitchcock's daughter.
Oh, there you go.
So there you go.
Wow, her accent work was really good in this because I would have thought that she would have sounded just like her dad.
Yeah.
Parker, do you want to?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Watch, you're going to be
Not
saying
even
something very profound and like very
and then
like
you'll
thought,
just
and I'm
bust
just
it
gonna be
out.
like,
And then I will leave the
uh-huh.
Zoom call. Yeah, I'll leave the Zoom call.
I just
the
won't
minute
be
you-
listening because I'll just be thinking about
Oh,
how
I
to like.
see.
I'm trying to
I thought
find
you
the
were-
voice in my head.
Right. I thought you were just saying that you would just suddenly like reveal it to me in like a surprising moment.
No, just
And
that you,
and it would
I will be
perfect,
completely
and I'd be
checked
like,
out because I will be thinking about
You're right,
every
'cause
interview
you're-
clip I've ever seen with him.
Right. You're
I'm
trying
not
to
listening to a
remember.
word you're saying.
Right. Well, you do that every week anyway.
Yeah, that's
so.
true. That's very true.
But all this to lead up to, Pat Hitchcock's character has such a funny line where she comes over and she's like, "He was really flirting with you. He must have seen my engagement ring."
It's really good.
Which is just, it's mean, but it's also funny. And it's man,
Yeah.
it gets me every
There's some
time.
good. Like, again, it's a good script. Genuinely, like
It
I think
is.
there's
It's
some
great,
good dialogue in here.
Yeah, really. So the rancher pays in cash.
Yeah.
And Marion's boss is like, "I don't even want that in the office over the weekend.
Like that
take
freaks me out. Get it out
Yeah,
of here.
get it out of here right now.
Yeah.
Let's just deposit it, whatever.
Mhm.
And she takes it, and I kind of like that from the minute she's got it, you kind of immediately get the sense of what she's gonna do.
Yeah.
And like she's like, "I'm gonna go home and sleep it off." We cut to her house. The money's in the foreground, right? And she's like,
It's a
changing-
very interesting tracking shot where like the money is on the bed and we start on that and we tilt up and she is in underwear again. It's black now. It was white when she was seeing Sam. It's black now, and Hitchcock talks about it's because she commits sin. You know, that was not my Hitchcock. I'm not going to do it.
No, that's just a different
but
guy.
like he just talks about that with the costuming of like, oh, we wanted to. So it tilts up to her. She goes to the closet, and then we follow her as she puts something in the suitcase. So we immediately clock what's going on.
Yes, and she's driving out of town, and I do like the function of like her imagining what people are saying.
Yeah,
right. She can hear what people have said and are saying in her head. And that's the moment. Those are the moments that really stood out to me this time. Is what she's doing while she's imagining those voices. Like she isn't just sitting there, not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like Janet Leigh is playing the thought process. And then she sees her boss crossing the street and he waves to her and then she's like waves
he
and
does
then
the double take.
and then she immediately is like, ooh.
Oh.
And I feel that. I feel like that's a very relatable.
Oh yeah.
You're like, "Oh, I'm supposed to be
I got caught in my lie. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then she's just driving out of town. She heads out of town.
Pulls over for the
cop-
night, is too tired. Cop comes and wakes her up.
And this guy has a scary face.
Yeah.
That's my take.
Totally.
Cast really well, shot really well. He is kind of the first scare of the movie.
Yeah.
Of just like he is unsettling to look at.
Totally.
And the dread that he's putting into Marion is felt by the audience as well.
Absolutely.
Like,
I think
which is really interesting. And I'm curious to know about audiences at the time of like, she is committing a crime. Were people feeling enough for her that they were like, I want her to get away from the police? Like, I'm curious if like,
I don't know. Like, I do know that Hitchcock felt that way though, because he hated cops. Like, very, like he had a very bad experience when he was young. He had some disagreement with his father, and he's like a child. He's like 6 or 7. And his dad has a friend who's a cop. So he takes him down to the station and he puts him in a cell. And he's like, this is what happens to bad boys. This is what happens to naughty boys. And ever since then, he just has hated cops. And in most of his films, they are an antagonistic force in some way or another. He doesn't like them very much.
Yeah. And I wonder how much of that carried over. For me, it absolutely carries over, but I'm a little biased in that I also once was put in a cell when I was 6 or 7 years old.
Whoa.
By Hitchcock's
dad. By Hitchcock's dad!
Yeah, it was really messed up.
Whoa.
Yeah. Hitchcock wasn't there. He was, he was filming Snatch.
I see. He was filming Snatch.
Heavy rainstorm. So, okay. So the police, this summary skips over all of this. Her going to the car dealership.
I really like the car dealership scene.
Yes.
Like, it's just, again,
really,
she does such a good job of playing, like, it's not, it would be so easy to overplay all of this. It would be so easy to over dramatize the pearl clutching and the nervousness and the twitchiness. And she she has like, there's so many good little moments. She finds every time that someone isn't looking at her, it's like a side eye. It's like, I got to get out of here. And then she's back in the conversation so quickly, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And also the cop just pulling over and just arms outstretched, leaning against the car, is very, it's spooky.
Yeah, spooky.
Again, he's spooky. He's a spooky guy. I am also just realizing that like British cops at that time, when Hitchcock was put in that cell, they were dressed silly.
Yeah, they're silly guys.
So you know that guy must have been really awful because they just had like billy clubs and funny hats.
Yeah,
you know. Man, not to say that those guys weren't also
but they looked
bad
silly.
guys, but they looked silly.
Yeah, this guy looks scary.
It's kind of the funniest part of the Get Back documentary is when the rooftop concert's happening and we're just with this like 20-year-old cop in the lobby of Apple Studios and his chin strap is like forcing all of his lips up.
Yeah.
Like the least intimidating guy who's ever existed.
Yeah,
and he's being like, dude, they got to come off that roof, you know?
Get off
Man.
That. Yep.
Yeah. A lot of good accents today. She carries on after the dealership. The dealership's really great.
Yep.
And even the guy playing the car salesman is also
Car
great.
salesman's really good.
A good time.
Her rushing out of there so quickly she almost forgets her luggage.
Yes.
In the other car is really good.
And just those guys watching her leave. And then her imagining their conversation of like, was she a bad one? It's like, I don't know. She certainly was acting like one. And then it's raining.
Yeah.
And she has the worst windshield wipers of all time.
They're really, really bad.
Yeah. I guess it's a new car. She didn't know that.
Yeah. I do love, you're talking about her reactions to the voiceover here. She has a moment of like smug satisfaction. When she's thinking about the cowboy dude being so pissed off about this.
Yes. I loved that moment.
It's really good.
I really enjoy that. And it's like, again, just enough of a smile from her. Like, just really good.
Yeah, good stuff.
So it's raining. Fortunately, luckily for her, it's the Bates Motel.
It's the Bates Motel.
From that show.
Yeah.
With Freddie Highmore. Really weird. It's really interesting. I'm simultaneously like, things like that shouldn't happen, but also like doing a prequel that is set in a different time to what we know happens is interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my thoughts on the Bates Motel TV series. But she stops at the motel and Norman Bates shows up.
Yep.
Our funny guy.
Well, we first see a very haunting image of she goes out and she knocks on the door and no one's there. And she sees the house up on the hill and she looks and there's a single light in the window and just like the silhouette of a woman passes in front of it. And it's very eerie. It's very disconcerting. Honks her horn, gets Norman's attention. He runs down from the house and is like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you over the rain.
Here's what I'd like to talk about really quick. Quick shout out to Norman for doing quick changes like nobody else.
Nobody's business, man. Like Norman, there was really a career on Broadway waiting for you.
You're talking about how Anthony Perkins should have done more musicals.
Yeah.
Norman should have been on stage.
Norman should have been on stage.
He's really, I mean, his wig work needs some work. Yeah. But also, in fairness, at the end, he was in a rush.
He's a transformative actor. He's a real chameleon.
That's what that guy says at the end. He goes, he was a transformative actor. And he goes, transformative
not necessarily.
Actor. Not necessarily. He was a psycho. We'll get to that. But Norman comes out very quickly, very prompt.
Very quick.
Just imagining him very stressed trying to get out of the dress. Like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
Over his clothes? Is he wearing it over his clothes at the end?
Yeah, because he is at the end. He's wearing it over.
Yeah.
So
So, well, then maybe he's not that quick.
Maybe he's not that good.
But yes, the shot is very disconcerting and is very effective in like, and I tried to time it out. Like, she passes in front of the window and Marion watches for a bit, goes to her car, honks the horn.
Yep.
There is reasonably enough time that it checks out.
Yeah.
But it's also so short an amount of time that obviously no one watching this movie is going to go, that was the same person.
Totally. Like,
right?
it's like, it is surprising to me how many people know about the shower scene but don't know about the twist. I've talked to people who genuinely have no idea. But like everybody knows the shower scene, right? But it's fascinating because the movie is it's plausible deniability. It's just close enough that it makes sense and it reads, but also it's like, yeah, I can see why you were fooled. You know, all the rest of us were.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually back to Norman should have been on stage, remembering how good he was at doing the two voices.
Oh, great. Yeah, absolutely.
He may, if not on stage, voice actor.
Mm-hmm. He could be great at ventriloquism.
You know, like, yeah, you know? Yeah. It's like when you see clips of Robin Williams in the studio for Aladdin. Yeah. Norman Bates could have been doing that.
Could have been doing that. Could have hit it big.
I'm trying to think of what's like a movie where like there's an actor who's doing two roles. I know it's out there. And there's a clip of him doing both voices one after the other. Like he's having a conversation with himself. Can't think of who that is right at the top of my head.
I know, but, I can see the clip in my head, but I'm not clocking it.
Can't think of who it is, but that's what I'm imagining Norman is doing. Or do you think he's jumping from spot to spot, like taking on? It's too quick. He's not doing. That.
He really could have. He could have led the way for David Hasselhoff's Jekyll and Hyde. I think in a big way of just like long hair on one side, flipping the other direction. It'd be great.
David Hasselhoff's Jekyll and Hyde.
Oh yeah. Oh, did you not know?
I didn't know.
David Hasselhoff is in the pro shot recording of the Jekyll and Hyde musical. So like if you go watch the professional version of Jekyll and Hyde the musical, it's David Hasselhoff.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I'll send you a clip after this.
Okay. That's okay. I guess I'll go back to talking about Psycho now. Man, what?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that he...
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I did not know that about the Hasselhoff.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm really only familiar with his fantastic lead role in the latter half of the SpongeBob movie.
Right.
Norman Bates comes out to talk to Marion. That's where we're at, by the way. And he is immediately very affable.
Yeah.
He's an affable, charming young man.
The last time we watched this together, I remember he came out and our friends just go, OMG, baby girl. Baby girl, literally baby girl.
I mean, he is a little.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know? He's just... And here's my take, though, is like his performance here, it feels like, and I have no basis for this.
Okay.
So much of Andrew Garfield's charm in his roles.
Oh, interesting.
Is very similar to this.
I could see that. I could certainly see that.
Like the way that Andrew Garfield plays charming and kind of like nervous and all of that feels so much like Anthony Perkins in Psycho.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that does often lead me to the question of like, okay, if someone were to do Psycho now, or had done it, you know, if it wasn't the...
What, Vince Vaughn wasn't doing it for you?
Yeah, if he wasn't... No. No.
Oh, I see.
Andrew Garfield could have been a nice choice if you wanted to do, like, you know, what we do now as remakes, which is just like, let's just make that movie again.
Right.
Andrew Garfield would have been a good candidate. Yeah. But that's okay. We don't need that. But I do think that is the charm that he has.
I can see that.
I think Anthony Perkins is coming off rather charming up until he starts talking about those birds.
Yeah, I think it gets a little creepy, but like he's just
his mother.
He has good.
A son, you know, a boy's best friend is his mother.
Yeah.
The minute he says that, you go red flag on the Hinge date. Never
mind.
But
previous to that, he has the mouse boy energy that people are going crazy for right now. You know,
yes.
You're absolutely right. Like the little mouse man.
Yeah, yeah. He would have been White Boy of the Month.
Yeah, truly.
He would have been White Boy of the Month.
Yeah.
There's still time.
That's my lease on Al Gaib right there.
Anthony Perkins in Dune? ?
I'd watch it.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I was immediately like
just lost in that vision.
I was just like that, and also I was like Kyle MacLachlan and Norman Bates. I was like, no.
We can't go that far.
We can't go that far. There's actually not that much common ground between Paul Atreides and Norman Bates. Sorry, Parker.
Damn, I got the buzzer. Oof.
Yeah, I gave you the buzzer on that one.
Damn.
Marion uses an alias to register and then immediately forgets what she put down, which is funny.
It's really
later.
good. What is it? Is it Mary Samuels? Is that it?
Mary Samuels. Because it's not as obvious as just Loomis. It's Mary Samuels, his first name, Los Angeles. Right. Because she has the Los Angeles Times.
Right.
I do like looking around the room being like, Los Angeles.
It's it's one of the few gags that really does get me from Family Guy of Peter is like infiltrating the high school and trying to pretend he's a teenager. And like, what's your name? And he looks around the lunchroom. He's like, pea. Somebody's eating peas. He's like, I can't remember what the other tur is, and then it's literally a griffin is flying around. He's like, Peter Griffin.
That's
like, that's good. That's funny.
I like that. Yeah. That's good, Parker. Thank you for sharing that. I
do
like when your Family Guy knowledge comes out because you just don't have the energy of someone who would have watched a lot of Family Guy.
It was just like the first 4 seasons. It just kind of happened to me in a very dark period of my life, and
So
then I
like
never
winter,
picked it up
spring,
again.
summer, fall?
Yeah.
Sort of vibe?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I can't wait until we get to the 5th season finally.
I don't think it's
they
going to
keep doing
happen.
reruns. No, they'll get to it eventually.
Mm.
It's called Fire Season.
Oh, I see.
So they have that. So he brings the sandwich down for her.
Yep.
And then he's like, let's
Because
have a
he
laugh.
has a big argument with his mom. She overhears
overhears
it.
that. Yeah.
And she's like, hey, I'm sorry.
performance
I'm
by
like,
Norman.
great work, Norman. She's like, I made some trouble for you. He's like, no, it's fine. They have their conversation in the parlor. We get the first like instances of being sinister. And it's such a switch for him. He does such a great job where she's like, she brings up the idea of, well, why don't you like get her some help? Why don't you put her someplace? You know, like,
yes.
And he like leans forward, like it's the lean forward in the chair is just such a shift in energy from Perkins that I love.
Yeah. Is it with her that we get the shot of him chewing the gum with his chin?
No,
that
that's
with her?
later. That's
Okay,
you
good.
know,
Okay,
It's
okay.
Arbogast.
It's Arbogast.
Yeah,
You're right.
it's
I'm sorry.
Arbogast.
You're right. I was like, why would he be nervous with her?
No, not yet.
So I didn't think so. Okay, sorry. Yes, and they have a conversation about that.
By the end of it, she decides
know.
she's going to go back. She's like, I've messed up. Actually, I've really screwed this up.
Yeah. She's like, thanks, Norman. He's like, no, I'm kidding. She doesn't actually say that. But also, he talks about his taxidermy.
Yeah.
He talks about how he
birds.
likes. It is kind of interesting where he's like, I prefer birds.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. The animals always look fake.
Yeah, he's like, he I can't remember the word he uses, but it's so good. He's like, beasts look so unnatural stuff. There's something like that.
Yeah,
like
something like that, which is interesting in the context of what the psychiatrist says later, where he's like, he tried his best to preserve his mother with those chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like it's really interesting to read into that of like, did he decide he didn't like preserving beasts after he didn't preserve his mom? Or is like, does she count as one of the birds? Like, it's really interesting in that way. And so, Marion decides to drive back. And Norman, as soon as she goes back to her cabin, he immediately is like,
he's got a little peephole, and it's like, now we really don't like this guy.
Always puts the young women in cabin 1 for
Absolutely,
that reason.
100%.
Do you think some guy ever came in and was like, I want cabin 1, and Norman was like, oh,
I guess, yeah, all right. Just womp womp.
womp womp. Yeah, like there was a man in front of a young woman.
Yep.
And he was like, I'd like cabin 1, please. And Norman was like, oh. I do think it's interesting when he looks at her and then he feels the guilt.
Yeah.
And we watch him go up to the house, and this also leads credence to the twist. This is what helps hide the twist a lot, is he pauses at the stairs and then he goes into the kitchen.
Yeah, like he's going to go march up to tell her off, and then he's like, no, and he deflates.
No. Yes.
Yeah.
And that is such an interesting peek into Norman as Norman. Yeah. Like, he really is thinking of this as 2 different people.
Totally. Yeah.
And he goes and he sits in the kitchen and I love this little moment with him of like, he looks disappointed. He looks like he's already kind of chiding himself. Yeah. Like, it's really interesting to watch it, especially if you remove the knowledge of what's actually going on. It is interesting just to look at him in that way.
Totally.
Like, I love that. Anyway, she starts the shower.
She said, well, before that, she sits down and she's marking out how much money she owes these people after buying this car.
Yes.
And then she tears it up and she throws it in the toilet, which was a big deal at the time. And I only bring it up because it does come up in the plot later. Tears this up, flushes it, gets in the shower. I couldn't find the exact figure, but I remember something along the lines that for the straight-on shot of the camera looking at the shower head is like 5 feet in diameter or something, so that there's not water hitting the lens.
It's wild.
It's nuts. Just a
big shower head.
Funky, weird shot. And yeah, we get the shower scene. You know?
It's kind of like the shower scene from Psycho.
Kind of like the shower scene from Psycho.
If you know the shower scene from Psycho,
you know the
it's
shower
kind
scene
of like
from
it's
Psycho?
kind of like that.
Yeah.
It scared me in theaters.
Yeah.
It hadn't, like, it's been freaky before, obviously, because it is effective. But, like, you know, when you watch it for the first time, you've already seen it everywhere else.
Yeah.
You know what it is. But seeing it in theaters, and here's what really freaked me out. I finally caught the eyes of the person stabbing her. And it's not Anthony Perkins.
Yeah.
It's someone else. And the eyes are, like, just barely lit enough that you can kind of see them.
Yeah.
But they're really
They're
like,
very
white
wide
and intense. And it scared me.
Yeah, it's spooky.
I genuinely,
it's very
like,
frightening.
I jumped at because I thought I knew what I was going to see. And I didn't realize that I hadn't seen the eyes before.
Yeah.
So loved that. Do you have anything to say about the shower scene from Psycho?
I mean, like,
This is your chance to speak on it.
we talk a lot about the editing and the composition, as we should, but, like, it's become almost so memeified that I think we really need to, like, draw some attention to Bernard Herrmann's score, because it is incredible. It's so good, and it is so frightening, and it's become a meme at this point. Like, if you have a large knife in a kitchen, 9 times out of 10 somebody will go, ha, you know, like, it just you just do it, you know.
I found myself bracing for the music this time, which is so interesting because, again, I don't think of myself as being scared of it. But I was like, in theaters, I was like,
like, it's coming, it's on the,
This is gonna
and it
be
is so
overwhelming.
loud in theaters. It's just like,
so
it's all
loud.
around you. You feel it, like, in your chest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I love Bernard Herrmann's score here. The other thing that I really enjoy as just, like, a fun movie fact is, so the final shot, Marion falls out, and the close-up of, like, the dissolve from the drain to her eye, and then the pull out. It's a really great shot. And when this movie came out, an optometrist sent a letter to Hitchcock, and he said, hey, saw your film, really enjoyed it. I know that you'll enjoy details a lot. You should know that when people die, that their eyes dilate. So, like, that close-up shot is inaccurate, but, like, I get it. Here's some eye drops you can use that will dilate the eyes. And from then on, I don't think he has another single shot that close to an eye when they die. But for the rest of his filmography, Hitchcock insisted on using these eye drops that would dilate whenever somebody was dead.
Yeah.
Which is just interesting.
That is really interesting. I just always think about how when you die, your body expels all the poop that's in there. And I'm just waiting for the day that a movie is like, we're going to commit to that.
We're really going to lock in on that one.
Just someone to walk into the scene of a dead person and just be like, oh like,
man.
Smells bad too.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, that's, now everyone knows that's what I think about every time someone dies in a movie. But I just always go, if we're going to be accurate.
True.
So, you know what?
Really...
You know what? Fuck off, optometrists. We don't want complete accuracy, okay?
We need some artifice, please.
We don't actually want complete accuracy.
That's good. That's
just
really,
like
really good.
Dead guys getting hard and shitting themselves.
Sure.
Isn't that what happens too?
Yeah,
maybe
so.
I'm uninformed. Maybe I heard some urban legends one time, but I'm pretty sure that all happens.
That sounds about right.
Anyway.
Also, again, shout out to Janet Leigh. Like, again, the giveaway is like, and there's nothing you can do about this. Like, it's always interesting. You can see like the pulse in her neck.
Yeah.
But she, like, other than that, she is stone still.
She is.
Like, it's crazy.
I always am kind of like, this isn't a still image, but it almost feels like it
starts
like,
as one, which is what throws you off about it, is that it starts still and then it comes into footage again. Because, like, they can't, because of the optical limitations at the time, the super close-up is a still, and then it pulls back to a certain area, and then it hands off to footage fast.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. Really great. Hey, the shower scene from Psycho, really good.
I also really love the closing camera movement from her to the money on the table. And it's like,
and this is something I do want to talk
anymore.
about this movie is, but the fact that the cameras keep going to the money.
Yeah.
And like, even when Norman comes and is cleaning up the scene, which, as you rightfully pointed out, must have been awful for audiences in 1960.
Truly.
Just like watching someone clean up a murder scene. And like the way he has to wrap her in plastic and like drag her away. Twin Peaks. specifically the fact that like he's about to leave the money in the newspaper and you still feel like, the money is still going to be important. And then he looks back, catches it, puts that in the trunk, sends it into the swamp. And I still feel like even for me, like I think the first time I watched it, I was like, how is the money still going to play into this? Like there's such it is a red herring in and of itself because they're like, this still matters.
Totally.
Right until he sends it into the swamp.
It's fascinating to me the way that people misuse the term MacGuffin because as it's coined by Hitchcock, it is literally this. It is an object that is set up as being important to the plot that ultimately proves to be nothing.
Yes.
It is a misdirected.
And then that changed to be the object that is the most important to the plot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are like, oh, well, like the Lost Ark is the MacGuffin of Raiders. And it's like, no, it's not.
No,
like that is the plot device. That is the central thing everybody wants.
MacGuffin is an inherently dismissive word for a reason.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't actually matter.
It doesn't actually matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is so good. I love... it was a character choice that Perkins fought for, is that he's like, I want to have a nervous tick of some kind. He was trying to figure out what it was. And his is candy corn. He just munches on candy corn. And so like that scene where he's just watching, he's pushed the car into the swamp and he's watching it go down. And it's just these close-ups of him, just his jaw chewing. He's just sitting there. And then he stops because it does like, it goes and then
I do like the way he looks. I like the way he looks around.
And he was like, oh, shit.
Swamp's got good comedic timing, though. The swamp is like, this is going to be
good gurgles on that swamp.
Good gurgles on the swamp, for sure. And also, I like his reaction to the murder scene when he comes in. He's like, oh, no.
Yeah, like the hand over the mouth is,
yes.
Again, he's, like you said, these are two different people to him. This is not like him just excusing. He's like, oh, well, I say I'm this person to do these things. Like, it is a full split. It is a full divide. And he is horrified at just what happened. Like, he's just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Genuinely. Really good. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
And then that's a wrap on Marion.
Yeah.
She's gone. She's done.
It's over.
Which, again,
25 minutes into the movie, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gotta be like when we watched it at your house, there were people who had not seen Psycho. Yeah. Did they know that she was going to be gone?
I don't
Do you
think
remember?
so.
I'm trying to remember their reactions to that.
I think there was somebody who said, "Wait, that's it?"
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's it. She's gone. It's done.
Man, I miss movie nights for that reason.
Yeah, I do too.
Marion's sister, Lila, arrives in Fairvale a week later. I really like how we introduce Sam here. I really like how Lila comes in. Like, it really feels like we're like, okay, who's next? Like, that's really the vibe that you get, right? Is who's next?
There's another kind of, again, weird little moments of comedy in this movie that I like a lot is Lila's trying to explain why she's there and is having a very difficult time. And Sam turns to his coworker. He's like, go out and, he's like, run out and grab lunch. He's like, oh, that's okay, Sam. I brought it with me. Run out and eat it.
Yeah.
I like that really
one. Good. So Lila comes in and is immediately like, okay, Sam, is she? And to your point about, what's the actress's name again?
Vera Miles, I believe.
To your point about Vera Miles' performance, she really sells the anger and like kind of like sadness that Marion wouldn't communicate this life choice with her. Yeah. Like when she comes in, she's like, I was gone for the weekend and now she's nowhere. And she's like, can you just tell me, if she won't talk to me, will you just tell me that she's here? Yeah. And like,
she's like, if it's none of my business, I want Marion to tell me it's none of my business.
Yes, that's what it is. You're right. Yeah, I had that wrong. And it's played really well. Like it's played good. Very honestly. Like the emotions that she's coming in with feel very real and accurate. And totally. I really like it. And then of course, I'm seeing here juror number one
himself
comes in. Private investigator named Arbogast. He comes in, great name. Again, all these last names are fantastic. Of like Crane, Bates even.
Do you know, I don't off the top of my head. Do you know if Billy in Scream is named after Sam? Do they get Loomis from this?
It's either that or it's Loomis from Halloween.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's
you probably, yeah.
what's his
Donald
name?
Pleasance.
Donald Pleasance in Halloween is Loomis as well.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
maybe they
just
all
curious.
pulled it, or maybe they all pulled it from Wicked guy in Jurassic World Rebirth.
You're so right. You're so right.
Jonathan Bailey.
Jonathan.
He plays Dr. Someone Loomis.
Whoa.
Should we bring Wicked to the show? Okay. Private investigator named Arbogast comes in and he's like, I'm looking for it because the money. I'm here. I've been hired to retrieve the money.
Yeah.
Right. And so he's kind of like, okay, I'm gonna go check out this, and he goes and he checks a bunch of motels.
Yeah.
Right. We get that montage of him going to a lot of different motels, and he arrives at the Bates Motel.
Yep.
And again, really interesting structure on the movie. If we're just talking about this as like setting aside the fact that like, yeah, everyone knows it's an interesting structure for a movie. Setting that aside for our episode in which we're talking about Psycho on Better Than Citizen Kane. It's like, now that he's now we are like, ooh, Norman.
Yeah.
Norman, how are you going to get away with this? But we're also like, Arbogast, be careful. Like, it is interesting to have this like 30-minute setup for, now we know what this motel means. We know what happened here. And it's interestingly structured and well structured.
I agree. Like it splits audience support in an interesting way. It simultaneously has us on both sides of this, and during their conversation, you get weird contradicting feelings whenever Norman slips up.
Yes.
In one regard, you're like, ooh, okay, yeah, that's a chink in the armor. And other times, like, Norman, what are you doing? That was stupid. That was stupid, yes. Norman.
Which is great because, again, even though he is complicit, at this point, he is not the killer.
Yeah.
But he is complicit, and he has weird vibes.
Yeah.
Right? Like, weird. And I just wonder, when audiences are watching this, are they thinking about who the psycho is? And are they like, it's the mom, or are they already getting the sense that Norman is something weird?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
there's like moments of it.
Yeah. Like, I think it is doing a good job of towing that line you're talking about of like, he is two people, but also it's like Norman is like simultaneously, I mean, it's kind of the Columbo thing too, of like, you're like, you kind of want the person to get away with something, but when they do something stupid, you're like, oh, Columbo's going to get you. That's kind of how it feels. Yeah. Right. I guess this is basically structured like a Columbo episode in that way. But yes. And I want to, shout out the shot that I mistakenly addressed earlier. When Arbogast is looking at the registry and Norman is munching that candy corn, as we are all prone to do come Halloween time.
Absolutely.
It's such an interesting shot that I feel like I've never seen anywhere else. Of he's leaning over to look over Arbogast's shoulder at the registry, and to show the nerves that Norman is operating under, we just see him chewing like crazy.
Yeah. And
it's his jaw movements and his like, all the muscles in his mouth. And we just see them like moving up like rapidly, like pistons almost. And it's like we're looking under the hood.
Yeah, it's a very unusual way of photographing a human face.
And I think I said on our call when I came out of the theater, like, it is kind of dehumanizing. Like, it makes him look not human.
Totally.
Like, it is like depersonalizing him. It's turning his body into something alien.
Yeah.
That we've never seen from that angle before. And you go, oh. And I think that is key in like queuing us up to Norman is something else than what we think he is.
Yeah.
It's kind of after, his reaction to Marion saying, well, why wouldn't you put your mother in a home? This is kind of our second real beat of like, no, Norman has something weird going on.
There's something he's hiding.
Right? Yeah. Really interesting way to shoot that to make us feel that way. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And Arbogast has just, is inferring things from, it's like, oh, so your mother met her. And Norman's like, no, and he's like, I don't really remember. And is doing a terrible job.
He's doing a terrible job.
But understandable under the circumstances. Because also he doesn't really understand what happened either.
Yeah.
Kind of,
yeah.
Kind of. Anyway, it's interesting. Like, for Arbogast to say, she did meet your mother. He's like, well, no.
Yeah.
But he's
well,
like,
he has,
no.
yeah, I do love, like, in this whole stew. Like, again, he gets so defensive of his mother in these weird little snaps, right?
Yes.
Where he's like, well, let me just say this. She may have fooled me, but she didn't fool my mother. Like, that being the moment that, like, something catches for him where he's like, actually, no, fuck you. Like, no, she didn't get away with anything.
Yeah. Oh, that's the line that Arbogast goes, oh, so she met your mother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then
he's
he has
like,
to be like,
oh, crap.
No. It's Anthony Perkins is so good in this.
He's really good.
Arbogast leaves, but he's like, I'm a little suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
So he calls Lila and he's like, I'm going to go back to speak to Norman's mother, and he'll rejoin Lila in town later. He returns. And then it's kind of like the second most iconic kill in Psycho.
Yeah.
I guess you could say.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
It's kind of like that.
You know, like in Psycho when he's going up, the guy's going up the stairs.
Yeah, you know.
This jump scare gets me more.
Yeah, this
than
one,
the shower
I
at
can
this
never,
point.
like, the exact timing of it, I can never remember. And
It's
so
like
it
the
always
one
gets
from
me.
Wait Until Dark, where it's like you go, wait, when is it? And then it happens. And it still manages to get you.
Mm-hmm.
Or the one in Jaws as well, right? Yeah. Because Arbogast is going up the stairs of the house. Again, incredibly shot.
Yeah. Just the door
and
creaking open a little bit. And then the
and then the strings play again.
Yeah, the strings play again. Mm-hmm.
Strings play again, and she comes out of the room.
Gets him. Yeah.
I'm miming him falling down the stairs.
The falling down the stairs doesn't quite hold up to scrutiny. It's a little silly.
But I think that the oddness of it contributes also to
totally
like the sound of him going down the stairs. Like he's moving really, like his feet are moving really quickly.
Yeah.
As he's like going back and forth, and then he falls and he's dead.
Gets got.
I really like this.
Did we mention that he calls Lila after talking to Norman? Okay.
Yes, he calls Lila and says,
yes.
You were busy thinking about how you're.
Yeah, I was off in Hitchcock land. I was actually looking up to see if there later on. I'll mention what it was that I was trying to find.
Okay. Because it's your impression, and you're not ready.
Yeah, I was trying to find my impression.
You'd muted me, and you were watching a clip of Hitchcock.
That's exactly right. Yes.
Yeah. Sam and Lila do not hear back from him. Sam goes to the motel to look for him. And he spots the silhouette in the house.
Yeah.
Which is also, once again, spooky.
Spooky.
Because this time she's sitting in a chair. And we know who that is. Because Norman is standing at the mud, at the swamp.
So this is what I was trying to figure out, is that I had heard for a very long time that there's like 4 frames at the very end of this, because Sam is running around and he's yelling for Arbogast, and we get a shot of Norman standing by the swamp, implying what he's just done to Arbogast in his car, and there's a push in on Norman as he turns to like hear the sound. I had heard for a long time that there's like 4 frames at the end where the skull overlay happens.
Interesting.
I didn't notice it in theaters on the big screen. I couldn't see it there. I couldn't find any stills of it online. I think it's an urban legend. I don't think that's actually true. But like, there's something about the quality of his face in the way that it is lit that you can almost trick yourself into seeing it, because he looks spooky.
He is sinister. And this is like the first outright sinister moment for Norman, right? Wouldn't you say so?
Absolutely.
Like
100%.
He's been off-putting, he's been unsettling, but this is where you really feel a sinister nature from him. And I don't know. I'm almost like, was that Norma in that moment? I don't know. Yeah. It's kind of interesting to think about. Or does she just not even clean him up?
I don't know.
Hard
to tell.
Anyway. So, Sam returns.
Yeah. Couldn't find
Arbogast. They alert the local sheriff, Al Chambers. And this is probably my favorite scene in the movie. Just because I love this guy. And his wife, for that matter. Yeah. The Chambers are so fun. And I also like how the scene is structured, where they're like, he's going to go talk to Mrs. Bates. And I love the way that Chambers' wife goes, "Oh, Norman's married. Good for him."
Yeah, Norman took a wife.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I think
mother.
it was,
And the way that they look at each other, but don't immediately address it. They just kind of look at each other and like, what?
Okay.
Chambers calls Norman. Like, "Hey, Norman.
We got troubles.
got troubles
right here in River City.
but he's like Arbogast with a gentleman by the name of Arbogast.
Arbogast.
It's really good. I love the way he says it. But Norman's like, no, he came here, he left, and he never
He
came
left.
back.
Yeah, he's gone.
And so Chambers is like, well, then he must have just like
he got a hot lead. He went on.
got a hot lead.
You.
He took.
And
off
Lila's like, absolutely not. Like he would have
done
called.
that.
I know he would have called.
Yeah.
And he's like, let me get this straight. He's like, this detective of yours said he spoke to Norman's mother. He's like,
or
yes,
he was gonna
yes.
go talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna go talk to the mother.
Yeah.
And she's like, yes. And then we get the reveal.
Yes.
Norma Bates has been buried up in the cemetery for the last 15 years or whatever.
Yeah, these 15 years.
Mm-hmm. So I have a question for you.
But the last line he says, I love,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just like classic, spooky, like send shivers down your spine moment where he says, he's like, if Mrs. Bates is alive, then whose body is buried in this cemetery?
Who's that buried out in the cemetery?
Who's that buried out in the cemetery? And I'm just like, ooh. Like,
so I have a question for you. How much did you know about this movie the first time you saw it? Do you remember?
I think I knew Norman was the mother.
Okay. Because my question for you is, we've had this before
and I know
with
exactly
other movies,
what you're gonna ask.
and I'm like, what is this movie? What does this movie look like if it's a ghost movie? What if this movie looks like if it's like zombie, ghost, undead Norma Bates? You know,
I think it's worse. Unfortunately,
I think it's worse. I agree.
We brought this up on Vertigo.
Mm-hmm.
And like this is why I'm like,
Why does this
Hitchcock
keep
should
happening
have
with
made a
Hitchcock?
ghost movie.
He should have done it, man.
Should have made a ghost movie. I think it would have been really good.
Yeah.
But like Vertigo, I think there is a good movie where it's a ghost movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think there is a good movie there. I don't think it's necessarily a better movie than Vertigo.
Yeah.
But I think there's a really good ghost version of Vertigo. I don't think there's a good version of Psycho that is a ghost movie.
Yeah.
As much as I love a ghost movie, obviously, and I do love like if that scene with the sheriff was in a ghost movie, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, I love that. But if we are then to go back to the house and it is revealed that Norman's mother is undead in any capacity, I'm less interested in it, I think. I think it's a less interesting, I think
you're right.
I think
that's
it's less
fair.
scary almost. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. Well, it's like, I think that's what people talk about with the shower scene being so scary is that could happen to you, is what people tell themselves, right? They're like, that could actually happen. You know, somebody could do that to me right now. In the same way that Jaws is like, oh, a shark could eat me. Sharks are real things that are out there, and they do come in sometimes inland to beaches. Like, that could happen. Yeah. It's different than, like, Freddy Krueger's not going to get you. You know, like it's as scary as that is.
And
it's
you
not.
Can still be scared of a supernatural thing, obviously.
Totally.
Like I saw Alien Romulus, and when I came back from that, I had to turn on all the lights in my house before I could go to bed.
Yeah.
Because I just like there's certain images that really stand out with those things. Yeah. Also, don't think I haven't tried to crack the ghost slasher. But I just go, there's no threat because how do you defeat a ghost who's a slasher?
Anything. Yeah. There is one piece of important information that comes from this scene, though, aside from the Norma Bates is dead, is they talk about, like, it was a murder-suicide. She started seeing this man. He killed her, killed himself. Norman found them. And I love Norman found them in bed. Which, again, but it's like, it's silly, but it's kind of wild for a code movie, you know?
Yeah,
that it's like they're being that direct about this.
They are. Well, and then the scariest part of the movie for you also is just kind of like, ugh. You know, I mean, it's less related to the code, I guess. But but the other thing is that Norman talked about it earlier. Mm-hmm. Talked about the man that his mother was seeing, and then he died, and the way he died. I shouldn't talk about it while you're eating. Mm-hmm. And then later, we have the psychiatrist be like, and Norman killed them both, and you go, okay, right, that's interesting.
Okay, there we are.
And it's also interesting because if Norman found them both and says that it was a murder and then it's determined to be a murder-suicide, you have to imagine that Norman testified in some capacity, which means that he was already kind of his mother, or at least the second personality had already been developed. Yeah. Right? Of like, no, my mother killed him and then killed herself. Mm-hmm. And Norman's the one who did it. Yeah. It's like you almost are like, he became his mother the minute he killed her. Mm-hmm. And then was like, she did it to herself. Yeah. I don't know. I hadn't really thought about that before, but that is really interesting. So Sam and Lila go, okay, well, we're going to go out there together.
Yeah, they go and meet. They meet Chambers at the church the next morning. He's like, I already went out there. I talked to Norman. Like, everything's fine. Everything's all good. Hadn't seen your sister.
Another Hitchcock ACAB moment.
Yeah.
Terrible police work from this
Terrible
guy.
police work. And so these two are like, it's interesting. I love seeing the development of Sam during this part of the movie because he starts out being very like pump the brakes. Like, look, we'll all figure this out. It'll be okay. You know, let's just, Arbogast knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I like that she's like, I can't remember the exact line, but it's something along the lines where she's like, I want to go out there and I think you want to go back out there too. And he's like, yeah, you're right. I do want to go back out there.
Yeah.
And so they go and they develop this whole plan together. Like, okay, we're going to check in as man and wife. And we're going to, she's like, and we're going to scour the place from top to bottom. Like, we are going to check every single cabin and we're going to go talk to that old lady.
Yeah. I will say they are being suspicious, and it's lucky for them that Norman is kind of bad at reading that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because they are kind of like, and now we'll go into the cabin, please. And he's like, okay.
Yeah, it's I'm curious about like Sam's like mind games he's playing with them to like put him on edge. He's like, that's the first time I've ever seen it happen. Usually you have to pay in advance if you don't have luggage, anywhere else in this country.
Yeah.
I've never been able to clock what his game is. Like, it's just that he's trying to put Norman off balance.
And Sam's whole thing with this scene too is that he fully believes that Norman took the money from Marion.
Yeah.
And has it because he's like, surely he wants to start another business or something.
Yeah.
And it leads to a scene that almost doesn't work for me, where we keep cutting back to it as Lila is exploring the house, where we come back and Sam is just increasingly like, you want that money, don't you? And you really want to do this, and I bet you did this, huh? And Norman's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And
and I'm like, I've the best I can get out of it is that he wants to make sure that like Norman is completely occupied with him, and if they were just having a casual conversation, they could just walk somewhere else.
And it works as a plan. I guess I just mean like the performance of it feels very stiff. Either whether that's a choice by the actor for Sam or is just a result of the performance by the actor.
Yeah,
it is just always like it's just a little too like, like, and I'm always like, I don't know, man, you're being like a little too antagonistic for a guy who's checking into a hotel.
Yeah,
like,
truly.
I know that your reasons make sense, but from Norman's perspective, I would be like, okay, so this guy's clearly doing something.
Yeah,
like,
so
he's
what's going on here?
Totally. Unsubtle, I guess is the word to use for it, which is fine. Again, it does still work, and obviously it succeeds.
Yeah. So Lila sneaks into the house, is looking around, goes up, and again, I love the way the movie like shows the sinister nature of the crime scenes, right? So like they go into cabin 1, they get in and grab the key, and they're looking around and they find the piece of paper, like a small shred of paper, and she's like, that like. It's her handwriting. It says subtracted from 40,000. Like, she was here. And when they walk into the room, it feels like a tomb. There's just something about it that feels so gross. Like, it just feels icky to be in there. And the same thing, too, when she's going up the stairs. You're just like, you're clenched the whole time. She's like, oh, God, like, what's going to happen? Because we don't know yet. Like, we realize something is off. But we know, someone's up there.
Do you know what we missed as well is the scene where Norman has a conversation with his mother and carries her down to the fruit cellar.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we did miss that, which is also a very interesting scene.
Yeah.
Because you do see her body.
You see them both together. And you hear them both. And so, again, it adds to the other levels of it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, put me down. Mm-hmm.
And it is interesting that, like, so much of this movie as well, but something that is interesting is, like, they describe her as an invalid.
Yeah.
But then we see that she has come down to the motel to stab and kill Marion. She's running out of the room to kill Arbogast.
Yeah.
And yet that doesn't really clash.
No.
Even though Norman then later has to carry her down, I guess the assumption is that she's pretending to be an invalid, or like...
Yeah. Or just, I don't know, jumps of adrenaline, something,
But it is interesting that, like, that had never caught for me.
Mm-hmm.
Until now that I think about it, of like, like, of course it doesn't really add up, because how is she moving that quickly and killing people
about
if she... But then again, earlier she's walking. right? And then she's sitting in the chair. It's interesting, like how they play with that, but also I'd never really thought about it that way.
Yeah, it's not something you really register until you've watched it a few times.
Yeah, now I'm like, right, like it really doesn't
really
add
think
up.
about it. Yeah, it's very interesting.
There are holes in his story about her being an invalid if she's walking around and running around, and it is interesting. So anyway, back to Lila. She's going up the stairs. Does she go into Norman's room first?
She goes to Norma's room first. She goes into Norma's room first, and she's looking around, gets spooked by the mirror, and then sees the worst shot in the movie for me. I hate it so much. There's just, I don't know what it was this time, but there's an imprint of a body on the bed, just like, laying on its side,
the curled corpse, basically.
Yeah, and it's just it's left an indent in the bed.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh god, like it's awful to think about. The longer you look at that image,
because that is, he's laying her down to sleep there, right?
Yeah, that's where he keeps her when she goes to sleep, and she stays there most of the time, which is why the bed is imprinted permanently that way. Like that corpse doesn't move from that spot very often.
I think for me the worst thing about it is like the curl to it. Yeah. Like it is, like it's not a fetal position, but it's like, it is just yuck. Yuck.
Yeah, it's a yuck.
Room would smell bad too.
Truly.
Even if he did treat it with chemicals. Like, just saying. Lila doesn't react to that though. Yeah. She actually can't smell.
You mentioning smell is another funny little line that I like way earlier in the movie when Norman's like, I change the sheets every week, even if people haven't stayed here. I hate damp smell. Dampness. I don't know, creepy smell.
Oh yeah,
it's just like creepy smell.
Yeah, because he's a likable guy.
She goes into Norman's room, and it is Arrested Development hell. It is just a child's playroom.
Yeah,
and it's so off-putting,
and it's old too. Like
it's old toys.
And it's like dirty and in disrepair, and just the shot of, again, bed horror in this movie. Yeah. When we just get that shot of Norman's bed and like sheets all disheveled and it's tiny,
so little
in the corner, and you're just like, oh god, like I don't know. And then she flips through the book that apparently has awful images in it,
just like terrible pornography.
Which I don't know. Like Norman doesn't feel sexual to me in this movie at all. Like, I know that a point of the movie is like he has this weird, awful connection with his mother, but it's not sexual in my mind. I know that he is sexual in the sense that he spies on women and feels that, but for me, he's not acting like, I don't know. It's hard for me to imagine a more Ed Gein inspired anything for Norman, because for me, I'm like, he's just about his mom. Yeah. And like him looking at women, he could be, drawing, awful pornography in this book. Yeah. But to me, he is like a kid who's like, who's so stunted, and he's still only like experiencing like sexuality in that way. Like it's not that it's innocent, but it's like, I don't know.
It's naive.
It's naive. I think to me, Norman's sexuality feels more naive to me.
I could see that.
And so for him to secretly be like, again, maybe I'm like, I don't know why I'm trying to argue that he's less of a psycho than he is. I just mean like, it doesn't feel that way to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah. To me, it feels like any sexual urge that he would have would be completely shut down and overridden by his mother's persona in his brain. Anyway.
Yeah.
Me hopping into the movie and arguing with the psychiatrist. I think you're wrong. Here's what I have to say.
No. Sam pisses Norman off too much, and Norman catches wise to what's going on. He's like, where's that woman you came in with? They get in a tussle. He grabs like a lamp and smashes him over the head, and Sam is out cold. Norman runs up to the house. Lila sees him coming and hides under the stairs, goes down the stairs a little bit into the basement. He searches elsewhere, and she notices a door leading down, and she's like, well, I guess haven't checked here yet. And she goes down, and this is also like, the reveal shot is very frightening, but just the image of this dank, dark, awful cellar with the one exposed bulb, and just someone sitting there in a chair with their back
staring
to
into
you.
the corner. Yeah,
like
scary.
It's very Blair Witch. Like, it's
It
like
is.
there's something very upsetting about that image, you know?
Yeah, it is very scary. But also the fact that Lila goes, Mrs. Bates.
Mrs. Bates.
Isn't she like, oh my God.
Oh my God, hi.
I found you. Oh my God. OMG. You're in the fruit
OMG,
cellar.
Norma.
OMG, Norma, you're just in the fruit cellar. You're looking at the wall.
Yep. Goes to touch her shoulder to get her attention, and the dummy spins
I
around.
guess it's a spinny wheelchair. It's a spinny chair.
If like sometime go find pictures. I came across these while I was looking for that still of like, does the skull superimpose? The corpse prop in color is so much worse than in black and white.
I imagine it is.
It's really, really awful to look at.
How dark and raisiny is it? I guess is my question.
It looks like the front skin looks like a leather bag in color and consistency, and the skulls are like starched white. Like the eye sockets are like starched white.
Oh no!
It's not fun to look at. That's for sure.
Yeah,
it's pretty spooky.
it is hard to find a picture of it in color.
Yeah. Just Psycho 1960 skull. You should be able to find it.
Okay. And I hope everyone at home is doing this as well.
Yes, please.
Even if you're driving, get that phone up.
Go check it right now.
Go check it right now. Have we seen any of this imagery from the Vince Vaughn one? Do we know what the corpse looks like in that? I've never looked.
Let's find out. What year is that?
1995?
I'll try 95. Let's see.
Yeah, if you just start typing the 1909, I feel like it'll show up.
Yeah. I'm sure this is riveting for everybody.
Yeah, this is super riveting for everyone.
Really
I'm not
good
finding it
stuff.
immediately. I'll look it up later.
Yeah.
But
it's
spooky,
really
though.
not pleasant.
No, it's not. And it looks like a dried apple, something, you know.
Yeah, truly.
It's awful though. It's really terrible.
I have seen a picture of this. The 90s one is worse. It's not nearly as scary. It's not nearly as good. Like it doesn't even look. I don't know. I don't think it looks frightening the same way.
Okay.
Kind of at all.
All right. What? The 90s Psycho isn't that scary? Oh, interesting.
Yeah, crazy.
Anyway, Lila screams in horror.
Very scary.
And then Norman comes in.
Yep.
I was looking at the script, and there is a line that Norman says in the script here where he screams, "I am Norma Bates." He doesn't say that in here, does he?
I don't think so. Like, he screams in Norma's voice, like cackles. Sam grabs him, and she calls out for Norman. She's like, Norman, help.
Yeah, no. In the script, it says, Lila gazes for one flicker of a deathly moment, then begins to scream. A high-piercing, dreadful scream, and Lila's scream is joined by another scream, a more dreadful, horrifying scream, which comes from the door behind her. Off-screen, Norman's voice screaming, A-Y-E-E-E-E-E-E.
Okay.
Am Norma Bates. Lila turns. Norman. His face is contorted. He wears a wild wig, a mockery of a woman's hair. He is dressed in a high neck dress, which is similar to that worn by the corpse of his mother. His hand is raised high, poised to strike at Lila. There is a long bread knife in it. Lila, close on her face, she is dumbstruck. Her eyes are screaming.
Well.
Anyway. And then it says that Sam throws himself at Norman football tackle style.
Wow.
I really like how the scene plays out in the movie.
Yeah, I do too.
Sam grabbing the knife and like the way that Norman like
collapses,
winces and collapses back is really good.
And I is it Sam pulling the dress or is
like
it
the
Norman?
dress,
the dress like pops open
and we see that he's just wearing his sweater underneath. Or like his shirt underneath.
Man, I'm really glad they took that line out. That's so bad.
I know. Imagine if he'd said that.
Man, that sucks.
Because before that, she says Mrs. Bates. And then he says,
I am Norma.
You know, it's kind of like when Palpatine said, "I am all the Sith."
Right. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. But anyway,
got him.
light bulb swinging back and forth, and then that last shot of Norma's corpse.
Yeah, the lighting
is
changing
even
on the
scarier.
corpses.
The lighting shift on it, the eye sockets changing is frightening. And then we go to the police station.
And here we come to the scene that knocks an entire half star off for me. Like, this scene is enough to keep it from 5 stars.
I struggle with it. I tried to find an article defending it, and I was still like, I just think it doesn't work. Like, I'm not against this scene existing.
Yeah.
But it is so... Okay, so basically what it is a psychiatrist explains to Lila Chambers that Norman killed his mother. Let's pull that up in the script really quick here. Because we have a little bit of, like, before that, Chambers being like, you guys can go home, making that statement was enough. And Lila says, no, I'm all right. I'll feel better when all this is explained. And then we get, apparently the character's name is Simon, Dr. Simon, the psychiatrist.
Okay. Hi, Simon.
Hi, Simon. He goes to the desk where the box of coffee containers has been placed, takes blah, 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 blah. District attorney says, did he talk to you? And he goes, no, I got the whole story. But not from Norman. I got it from ... his mother. Everyone gazes at him, mystified. He speaks as he removes lid from coffee container. Norman Bates no longer exists. He only half existed to begin with. Now, the other half has taken over, probably for all time. Lila, with difficulty. Did he kill my sister? Simon. Yes. And no. And that's the line.
And that is...
That's the energy that we don't like about the scene.
No.
It really feels like Simon, the psychiatrist, comes in and is like, it's my star moment.
Yep.
And it really doesn't need to be his star moment. It doesn't need
to be. It's so... And I get it. I understand the purpose that this scene is serving. Like you said, on paper, I don't have a problem with this scene existing. Because 1960s audiences are not at all familiar with concepts of mental health or multiple personality or schizophrenia or whatever they're leaning into. That's a very foreign concept to a contemporary audience for this film. I understand that. What bugs me is the fact that it just keeps going.
It just keeps going.
Like, he made his point. He made his point 5 minutes ago, and he still keeps talking.
I got it from his mother.
Yeah.
And then, literally him saying, like, Norman Bates no longer exists. But again, even this whole thing is drawn out. Like, it just feels drawn out, and I just don't like that it goes for as long as it does. The district attorney even goes, look, if you're trying to lay a lot of psychiatric groundwork, and he's like, no, I'm just trying to explain it.
Yeah.
And Lila says, but my sister is, and he goes, yes, I'm sorry. Private investigator too. If you drag that swamp out there, anywhere in the vicinity of the motel, and he pauses, and he goes, do you have any unsolved, missing person cases in your books? And he goes, yes, 2. Which is like, I know it's a small town, but it is funny that he's like 2.
Yeah.
Simon's like, young girls? And then she was like, did he confess to? And he goes, as I said, the mother. To understand it as I understood it, hearing it from the mother, that is from the mother half of Norman's mind, you have to go back 10 years to the, it's...
Yeah. And then it just keeps going.
It's Hercule Poirot. It's Benoit Blanc. It's going like, I've solved it.
But it's not that kind of movie.
And this is the thing that you and I have said before. The thing that bothers me about it is that the movie has done its job.
Yeah. We know.
Get it. But that's the thing that always holds me is I go, do I just know because I know and I live in a post-psycho world? In the same way that you watch a movie and you go, is this better than Citizen Kane? And you're like, but also like so many movies are impacted by these movies existing before them, right? Yeah. That I go, do I just get it because Psycho has existed for 60 years? But but my argument to that is genuinely, I think the movie does a great job of establishing all of this.
Right.
I think audiences don't really need it explained to them. They need a little bit of a prompting of like, this is who Norman is.
Yeah.
You can put together the rest. But for the psychiatrist to go, you have to go back 10 years to the time when Norman murdered his mother and her lover. Yeah. He was already dangerously disturbed. He had been ever since his father died. His mother was a clinging, demanding woman, and for years the two of them lived as if there was no one else in the world. Then she met a man, and it seemed to Norman she threw him over for this man. That pushed him over the thin line, and he killed them both. Matricide is probably the most unbearable crime of all, and most unbearable to the son who commits it, so he had to erase the crime, at least in his own mind. He stole her corpse, and a weighted coffin was buried. He hid the body in the fruit cellar, even treated it to keep it as well as it would keep. Like, there are good details in here.
Totally. But it's just, like, to your point, the movie has done a good job of this, and it's going to do a good job of this. The single shot of the officer going into the room to give Norman the blanket and the woman's voice going, "Thank you." That's all you need. Like, you did it already, Hitch. It's done. And like, that's the thing is like, I don't want to harp on it too much for fear of eventually this part of the podcast will just become the part of the movie we don't like. We'll become the thing we sought to destroy. But it's just like I think you hit the nail on the head. This idea that I think the movie doesn't trust itself enough that it did a good job explaining all this already. You don't have to exposit it to us. No. Like, we got it. And I understand what you're saying about like, is it just that I already know Psycho? But I agree with you. Is like, if you just look at the actual textual evidence of the film has presented all of these ideas for you already. We don't need you, like, the audience has connected the dots themselves. I don't need a character I've never met before explaining it to me.
You don't need like 10 paragraphs explaining everything. Like, this is, looking at the script, it is like, there's dialogue before with Lila and the chief of police and the district attorney, but page 129 and page 130 are completely just Simon talking for 2 full pages explaining Psycho to everyone. And it's the part of the movie that just doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
And I'm sure for a lot of people out there, it's fine. But for me, it like almost kills the ending because the shot of the light bulb swinging in the skull, fantastic. And then again, I am not against this scene in theory. Yeah. It could work. It's just too long.
Yeah,
and
it just needs to be trimmed down.
Too much.
Yeah.
He explains too much.
It's too hand-holdy. It feels way too hand-holdy. Like, it is just, I understand the purpose of it, but it talks down to its audience in a way that the rest of the movie doesn't, you know? And it feels odd. It just feels weird. It feels like a studio note to me. I don't know if that's actually the case or not, but it feels so much like this existed as a result of test screenings where the executive's like, nobody's going to get it. Somebody explain this to me, you know?
It does feel that way for sure.
And I just, it drives me crazy. But there's an interesting point in here that I want to bring up because it's something that like is a big part of the conversation around this movie.
Yes.
In horror is there's a moment where Sam says, well, why was he dressed like that? And one of the prosecutors goes, he's a transvestite. And psychiatrist goes,
you're right.
Not exactly.
You're right. That is actually the only thing that breaks up Simon's whole thing on page 130 is he says, you know, covered up all the traces of his crime he was convinced his mother had committed. Sam says, why was he dressed like that? District attorney, he's a transvestite. Again, apologies for the outdated term.
Right.
Simon says, not exactly. And this is what is interesting, is that he says a man who dresses in women's clothing in order to achieve a sexual change or satisfaction is a transvestite. But in Norman's case, he was simply doing everything possible to keep alive the illusion of his mother being alive. And we talked about this right out of my screening because I called you because I just wanted to talk about, you know, it's great seeing this on the big screen. And you make the point that this is often credited with, or how did you want to word it? I want you to word it.
It is cited as being a cornerstone of villainizing queerness on film. That queerness is horror, queerness is evil, and specifically,
and like Silence of the Lambs plays into this as well. And there are a few others I can't think of, but like, you know, obviously just like anything that derives from Ed Gein.
Yeah.
Even though, again, he was something else entirely. This is not what this is, but the idea of like putting on women's skin is like obviously plays into Silence of the Lambs as well. And this is not that, but it's derived from the same thing.
Right.
All of this is often pulled into horror and is a contributor to the demonizing and mistrust and fear and phobia of trans people and queer people.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
And specifically, and there's that book I really want to read, which I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. It's hold on.
I remember you telling me about this. I don't remember the title.
And like our friend Ash read it, and I talked to them and was like, I really want to read this still, and like told them that I would read it and then we could talk about it, and I never did.
Yeah.
But you know, it's called like something Freaks and Monsters, something like that. And it explores the history of like the trans history of horror, basically, specifically. All this to say that you're saying this is cited as a cornerstone.
Like it is cited, and rightfully so in a lot of ways, right? Like
okay.
it is. I'm not trying to say that isn't the case. I do find it interesting, however, that for a film from 1960, that textually the character who is our, for lack of a better term, like the moral guide, the explainer of all of these things, pushes back on that notion. That the movie itself textually says, oh, this person is dangerous and was dressed this way and is killing people because they're trans.
They
and
go
this
so
person's
far
saying,
as to have
no,
someone literally suggest that, and the movie does have someone go, that's not what this is.
That's not what this is. And I don't think that piece has carried over into the cultural conversation of Psycho within that context, but I just find it fascinating that that's even in here, because it would be so much easier and, expected of the time period for them to lean into that angle really hard.
Or to just leave it unsaid and for people to take that away from it, right? And what I said to you as my point, which, it's not like we were in disagreement, but basically like, even though it's here textually, oftentimes that doesn't matter. And I think I did compare it to Jaws, not to compare, queer people to sharks, but also like, as far as like, there was a huge rise in the killing of sharks after Jaws.
Right.
Despite that movie even less textually than this movie being like, this is a particularly bad shark.
Yeah.
But everyone's takeaway from Jaws was sharks kill you. And there is an argument to be made that this movie also contributed to a notion of these people are psychos. Right?
Yeah.
Despite the movie textually at the end saying that's not what this is.
Right. And
it is, but I think you do make a good point. It is worth bringing up.
It's an interesting observation. It's just interesting that it exists. Knowing full well that the cultural context around that has not been the case. But I do find it interesting, though, that like you talking about Jaws, the corollary, when I talk to most kind of random people who aren't like, into film the way that we are, when this movie comes up, I've never once heard someone talk about cross-dressing queerness or anything like that. It's showers. Showers are sharks in this movie.
Which is what we said earlier, too. Yeah.
Right. And it's just, I find that very interesting is like, I think for people who are looking for an excuse to villainize queerness, they can use this as ammunition in a big way. And they can point at this and say, look, scary, psycho. These people are psychos. But I find that, like, average Joe on the street that I talk to about this movie is so much more concerned with showers than they are with whether or not Norman is cross-dressing.
Yes.
Which is just interesting.
Yeah. For the record, the book is Corpses, Fools, and Monsters, The History and Future of Transness in Cinema, by Willow McClay and Caden Gardner. And I just wanted to give a shout out to that movie that book that I haven't read yet, but I really want to
seems very interesting. I'd love to read it.
I'm so bummed. I was at the Museum of the Moving Image in Queens last summer. Yeah. And they were doing a screening of a trans film that is now on my watch list that I haven't gotten around to, but they were doing a screening of that. And then they were going to have a Q&A with the authors of this book.
Whoa.
And they had the book at the museum, and I picked the book and I was like, oh, I want to buy this. I want to stick around for the screening. And I chose not to because I was like, I have other plans in Queens. And then I ended up not doing anything in Queens, and I should have just gone, and I wish I had. Anyway, but I think it is very interesting. And like, yes, I think that this movie did more damage to the shower industry than it did to the queer community. Right. Big Shower. And I mean, Big Shower is even in the movie. You said that shower head was what, 5 feet in diameter?
Yeah.
Big Shower. That's
Shower.
Big Shower.
Big scary shower.
Big Shower was like, hey, if you're gonna do damage to my industry, at least put me in the movie. And Hitchcock went, yeah, all right.
Yeah, all right.
That was my worst one yet. Let's just make that note. My other favorite thing about this is that at the end, Chambers asks, and the $40,000, who got that? And Simon says, the swamp. These are murders of passion, not profit. But I like that even at the end of the movie, someone is still like, but what about the money?
What about the money?
Which I think that has room at the ending. I think that's funny. I think it's funny
that works.
For any audience member out there who's like, but what about that $40,000? And it's like, oh my God, it doesn't matter. It's gone. But that's not the end of the movie. And this is the other thing that I think also saves the ending. Right? Is that that's not where it ends. It's not just like, well, that was it. Bye, everybody. We get one more thing. We check in with Norma.
One more thing.
One more thing. He feels a little chill. Can I bring him this blanket? And they take in a blanket to Norman. And we get our last words of the movie from Norma, credited to Mother's voice in the script. And Anthony Perkins, once again, crushing it, because all he has to do is sit there and look unsettled, I suppose.
There is a facial expression and a head movement that he does that just like gets me every time. He like purses his lips and like shakes his head in disappointment at a certain moment, and I'm just like, man, it's really good. Like it just, and she's like, you know, he was a bad boy. He was always bad. And Norman's like, yeah, he was always bad. And it's just like, God, it's good.
Yeah. And I mean, her last lines being, they're probably watching me. Well, let them see what kind of person I am. Because her whole thing is that she's like, she condemned Norman. She said that Norman did the murders and the mother was unaware, basically, right?
Yeah.
When we know that she's the one who was doing the murders and Norman was cleaning them up and was terrified about what she was doing. But the way that she's like, I couldn't allow them to believe that I would commit murder. As if I could do anything except just sit and stare like one of his stuffed birds, you know?
Yeah.
And then I'll sit here and be quiet just in case they do suspect me. And then she says, I'm not going to swat that fly. There's a fly. Yeah. And she says, I'm not going to swat that fly. I hope they are watching. They'll see and they'll know. And they'll say, why, she wouldn't even harm a fly. And then the skull isn't in the script, but a skull fades in over Norman's face.
Yes.
And then.
No, I just, this final image I love because it's Norman's face looking very sinister. It is a brief overlay of the skull, and then it crossfades to the car being pulled out of the swamp, and the chain is right over Norman's heart. This idea that the violence that they are committing is what ties these two people together, Norman and Norma. It's a very well-composed image, which I love.
Yeah, love that.
I also just barely found out, I didn't know this, Norma is voiced by 3 separate actresses, and they're all used interchangeably. Virginia Gregg, Paul Jasmine, and Janet Nolan. The final monologue is all entirely Virginia Gregg, though. So that final scene is Virginia Gregg, who's known. She's a radio actress, which makes sense. She's doing voices.
Yeah. Was one of them Lady Macbeth in Orson Welles' Macbeth? Am I misremembering that?
Possibly. Let's find out.
I thought that was the case.
I'm not seeing it on Gregg's. Do you know what year was Orson Welles'
40, 48? 47, 48?
Let's find out.
It might be uncredited. I think I did research into it.
Yes, there she is. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, 48.
Which one was it?
Janet Nolan.
Janet Nolan, that's what she is.
Yep. There you go. Yeah.
I'll say
very
it.
Cool.
I'll say it. She's hot in Orson Welles' Macbeth.
Down
and
bad.
Then I found out she voiced Norma Bates, and I went, "Oh man."
Oh, Max is a real Norman Bates over here. Got a real Oedipal complex.
No.
So that's the final shot of the movie, and it's great. And then I do find it very odd that it cuts to black, and then we see Hitchcock come onto screen and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching Psycho. Thank you so much for being here."
Hey.
That's crazy that he just does that. You know, he pulled a real Suspiria.
Parker, that was good. I'm not even going to go with your bit. I'm just going to say that was really good.
Thank you. I've been sitting here trying to find exactly, because it's like, it is like a proper British accent, but it does have like a common drawl in the back.
It does. And that's what always gets me.
When you're sitting at a table and there's a bomb under the table.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it is proper, but then like it's those last syllables are like he still has a bit of that. You know, that kind of,
it's in his vowels.
It is.
Everything,
exactly.
It's in his vowels. So I had to find that.
Well done and well studied, Parker. You've once again made a fool of me on my podcast.
Your podcast?
Psycho.
Psycho.
That's Psycho,
There it
everybody.
is.
He was kind of a. You see, he was a psycho.
So he was a kind of a psycho.
That was my second review, was just mocking that last scene
Mm-hmm.
and just going, you see, he was kind of a psycho. 1960.
Mm-hmm.
Man, any further thoughts on Psycho?
No,
Before
I
we
think
get
we've
into
just
criteria?
about covered it.
Okay, all right.
On to criteria.
Criteria, historical and technical relevance. Here's what I'll say. Was one of those major movies that changed how people went to see movies.
Yeah.
Because before this, like we were talking about earlier, it was you would just show up at any point,
Yeah, just go
walk
in and out.
see a movie, and it would be like halfway through the movie and you go, great. And then like you'd stick around for the second movie that they'd show.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know? But because Hitchcock was like, no, because he was really concerned that people who came in late and never saw Janet Leigh would feel cheated.
Yeah, they're like, I came here for Janet, and she's not in the
Yes,
movie.
Exactly. And at first, theater owners opposed the idea, thinking they would lose business. However, after the first day, the owners enjoyed long lines of people waiting to see the film. And I think for that, because it was the first film sold in the US on the basis that no one would be admitted to the theater after the film had started.
Wow. Yeah.
And that is a huge step towards changing things forever.
Yeah.
So I think Psycho can take a point from Kane for that.
I think so. Like I sure like it's
setting that aside, that's historical. That's like, I would argue that's a form of technical relevance as far as like distribution goes. And then you have the historical relevance and like cultural relevance, which is it's Psycho.
It's Psycho. Like the shower scene has been parodied maybe more times than just about it. Like I think that and like the obelisk in 2001 are on the same level of parody. Like it just I see it everywhere. I see it all the time.
It's everywhere, it's all the time. And also like Psycho is just, even like shower scene aside, it's just one of the most influential horror movies of all time. Yeah. If not the most influential. Like Halloween is probably another, right? But that wouldn't exist without Psycho in that same way, right? Like
totally.
This movie changes horror
it's the
forever.
first slasher film. Like truly,
It
like
is.
it is the first slasher movie.
Yes.
Which is fascinating when across the pond, Powell and Pressburger are making Peeping Tom this exact same year.
Yeah.
Which also is very proto-slasher in a lot of interesting ways. And it's
That is
fascinating seeing the differences in culture, right? Because this launches Hitchcock even higher in cultural worth, and it ruins Powell's. Peeping Tom ruins Powell's career.
Right.
Like, British audiences are not having it.
Yeah.
Which is just fascinating.
They're like, you can't stab a woman with your tripod leg.
Yeah, that's what they said.
That's what they were really against.
Have you
They
seen
were like-
Peeping Tom?
They were like, use a proper weapon.
Use a proper weapon.
I have
then-
not yet, because you recommended it to me and I haven't watched it yet.
You should
but
check
I
it
need
out.
to. I know.
Listen, I don't know what it is this year. I've been having a Powell and Pressburger year, man.
That's lovely.
Been popping off.
What's the one that I watched recently that you haven't seen that I feel like you need to watch? We'll talk about it after.
We'll talk about it.
Okay, how well do you think this movie's doing what it's trying to do?
I like truly, aside for one personal hiccup, which like probably is more of a personal issue than it is like a structural issue. I think it's flawless. Like I think it just moves. There's no dead air in this thing, minus that one scene. But like, you know,
but that's the end.
It's the end.
You just forgive it. It's the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's anything wrong with Psycho.
And
I
if
think
like
it is a perfect film.
If Hitchcock's goal was to maintain the twist and surprise audiences, I think he did that. I think
the fact that you still know and meet and talk to people who didn't know the twist before they saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, again, like not... Obviously, Kane is not trying to do the same thing, but upon that same metric, I know people who have never once seen Citizen Kane, know nothing about it, but they're like, Rosebud's a sled, right? Like, you know? Like, that piece of information seems to be out and about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fair.
Rosebud's a sled, right? And that's how they say it, too. It's so funny.
Rosebud's a sled, right? That's actually really mean to what Rosebud symbolizes, which is childhood, whatever. Apparently, this is the most heavily analyzed film in the long career of the most investigated director in the history of American film. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, sure.
It set a new level of acceptability for violence, deviant behavior, and sexuality in American films. So, like, good things.
Good things.
No, it's good. We need that. Believe it or not, it seems like all you see in movies these days is sex and violence.
Whoa.
I don't know. Family Guy?
Are you a secret? Are you secretly
Family Guy?
a Family Guy? Whoa.
No. I was just trying to see if there were any other goals that Hitchcock had with making this movie. Was he like, I really want people to feel like he's a psycho? Because if that's like, I'm just curious if there was any like, just to look at, whether,
Oh, I didn't realize that the movie Hitchcock is about the making of Psycho. I didn't realize that.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Scarlett Johansson plays Janet Leigh. James D'Arcy plays Anthony Perkins.
Which makes so much, because as I was watching this movie and I was thinking like Andrew Garfield, Anthony Perkins, I'm like, Janet Leigh, who looks like Janet Leigh? I was like, Scarlett Johansson looks like Janet Leigh. Someone beat me to it. Okay.
Someone beat you to it.
Okay, all right. That was 2011?
2012.
2012. Who plays Anthony Perkins?
James D'Arcy, Jarvis, like the real life Jarvis in the MCU.
Yeah, real Jarvis.
Yeah,
real Jarvis from Endgame and Agent Carter, whatever. I've been saying whatever a lot. That's fine. No, that makes sense.
Like looking at his Wikipedia photo in 2012, yeah, like it's a passing resemblance for sure.
Yeah, I guess he looks like him. I would have cast Andrew Garfield. That's my only note. No. Okay. It feels like we're basically done here. We know that we're done. Parker furrowed his brows.
Sorry, I'm on the C also, and they're talking about Bates Motel. Rihanna guest stars as Marion Crane? Excuse me? What?
Like at the end of the show? Like at the end
guess,
of the show?
yeah.
I'm assuming that's where the show's going,
I would assume that's the end.
Or are they implying that Marion Crane knew Norma Bates before?
God, that's crazy.
Rihanna. Well, Rihanna, I mean, Janet Leigh never was Smurfette. So,
true. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
The bar has been set.
Yeah. So if you can play both Marion Crane and Smurfette, you're... Good luck, everybody.
Yeah, I didn't see Janet Leigh on a battleship.
She would have been good, though.
She would have been real good.
What if Jamie Lee Curtis played Smurfette? Would that count towards anything?
No, that's we can't do a familial association.
It doesn't
transfer.
It doesn't care. Oh, all right.
We can't do proxy casting.
Oh.
Does Psycho get the point?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, cool.
And third criteria. I was trying to wrap us up, Parker. Let it be known that I was trying to wrap us up, and then you had to bring up Rihanna.
Look, you mentioned Crane. I furrowed my brow. I could have waited until after the pod.
I am gonna have to look into that. That's fascinating. Yeah. Okay, I don't really know what to do with that. Okay, what's the third criteria? Do we like it? Yeah, we like it.
Yeah, we like it. We like it.
You rewatch this every year. Is this on your list of yearly rewatches?
No, it looks like it's every other year right now. It's one of those every other times.
Mentioned that earlier. Okay, all right.
But yeah, I've liked this movie quite a bit. Again, it's my favorite Hitchcock film. So
yeah, it's really good. That's the thing. Psycho is really good. But is it better than Citizen Kane?
I think so.
All right.
No fights. No. All right, great.
Yeah. Great. Where is it on the Letterboxd Top 250? I'm just curious.
I have no idea.
Let's check.
Let's find out.
Because surely it's there, right?
It feels popular enough. Let's find
out. No, it is. It's number 139.
139. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So 139 on the Letterboxd Top 250. Number 33 on the AFI. On the BFI Sight and Sound 2022, and number 14 on the AFI 100. Not too shabby.
It is just above Tampopo and just below Prisoners on Letterboxd.
All right. Yeah. Hey, that's a fun, trio of films. Let's watch all three of those on the same day.
Triple feature.
Would you start with Tampopo or end with Tampopo?
It's a good question. I mean,
I'm
certainly not ending on Prisoners.
Prisoners, Psycho, Tampopo?
I think so. That makes sense to me.
All right. Well, I guess come back next week, everybody, for Tampopo.
Tampopo. No, Max, what are we doing next time?
Next time we are doing a movie I haven't seen, but Parker has seen. It's A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night.
Yes.
Is that what it's called? That was the title,
Girl Walks
right?
Home Alone at Night.
Did it from memory. 2014, an Iranian film. Excited.
I'm very interested to see what you think of this movie.
You showed this at a movie night multiple times.
I think so.
In the 3 years
think,
that we lived in the same city, and I missed it every time.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. It'll be good.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what you think of it.
Great. Well, thanks everybody for listening.
All right, take care,
We'll see you
everyone.
next time.
Bye.